Welcome to the 2024 SYC Florida, presented by Storm Bowling. Brought to you by Coolwick, official apparel merchandiser of the Storm Youth Championships, by PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy. By Pinwheel.us, Customer Relationship Management. By T&D Transportation. And by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowl Metrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities. Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from Boardwalk Bowl in Orlando, Florida, it's the 2024 SYC Florida. Welcome to the 2024 SYC Florida, presented by Storm Bowling. Brought to you by Coolwick, official apparel merchandiser of the Storm Youth Championships. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy. By Pinwheel.us, Customer Relationship Management. By T&D Transportation. And by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowl Metrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities. Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from Boardwalk Bowl in Orlando, Florida, it's the 2024 SYC Florida. Welcome to the 2024 SYC Florida, presented by Storm Bowling. Brought to you by Coolwick, official apparel merchandiser of the Storm Youth Championships. By PBA Junior, the PBA Youth Club for bowlers under the age of 18. And by KEGEL, built for bowling. By Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, 3G Footwear, Master Accessories, Ballard's Bowling Academy. By Pinwheel.us, Customer Relationship Management. By T&D Transportation. And by Quality Respite and Home Care. All scoring is provided by Bowl Metrics, official tournament management system of the Storm Youth Championships. This year, all SYC events and tournaments are aligned with charities. Ballard versus the Big C and Make-A-Wish Utah. Now, live from Boardwalk Bowl in Orlando, Florida, it's the 2024 SYC Florida. Welcome to the 2024.
All right, good afternoon, bowling fans. We are here again at the SYC Florida. We are kicking off round two. These bowlers have now taken a break. They took a nice little lunch break. We did have, for anyone that was wondering, we had some breakdowns this morning, and that is why we are a little later than you might normally find us, or than the stream found us. So hopefully if you're watching a bowler, you knew that was happening. If not, welcome to the feed. And we are watching some awesome U18 athletes in front of us. We're gonna have some guest commentators coming into the booth. We've got 5 Hall of Famers in the building. Gonna try to get some of them into the live stream booth to come and chat. We just had our awards ceremony from the short pattern, and I'll read through some of the medalists and current leaders in the tournament. Of course, they're bowling on the medium pattern this afternoon, but on the short, we had Alejandro Castaneda in the U12 boys. He took home the gold medal. Caleb Jabinez and Nolan Randisi. Those were the top 3. U12 girls, we had Alyssa Randisi, Taylor Morgan, and Presley Rain. In the U15 boys, we had Mr. Elliott Gordon, Tatum Lee, and Ridgely Potter Jr. for the top 3. U15 girls, Emma Lester, Ashlyn Henry, and Taryn Murphy. U18 boys, Christian LaCourie averaged 230 on the short pattern to take home the gold medal. Christian Mouton, 225. And Dominic Gibson-Smith. And U18 girls, we had Kaylin Campbell, Malia Miscavige, who, of course, was named the Alberta E-Crow Star of Tomorrow, and also finished in the top 2 of a PWBA regional recently. And then Katarina Hegler, a local Floridian who took home a national USBC scholarship as well. She earned the Gift for Life scholarship, or one of the Gift for Lives. They have multiple award winners. So that's a little rundown of our award winners. You see Alejandro's older brother Xavier right here. He is, I jinxed him. That was on lane 26. I believe that was might have been a Platinum 4 spare ball. I need to check that, but that's pretty cool if it was. Michael Evanson Jr. on 25. Brady, the bowling science kid, stepping up on this pair too. Got Jackson Day and Brooks Golden. Brooks Golden is from Lexington, Kentucky. He's 17 years old. He's bowled 10 plus SYCs. He was the 2024 Louisville Metro USBC Masters and Queens champion, and also has 2 state titles in Kentucky and 1 runner-up. He loves video games and bowling more than anything. He likes cooking and is a big traveling nut, and he wants to say hello to his mom and dad back home, girlfriend Maya, 2 sisters as well, and he loves all of his family very much. And I am joined by 40-time titleist Norm Duke.
Nice to see you again, Blair, and
Hi.
Hello everybody out there.
All right, so we're watching some U18 boys. Now, you know, Brooks Golden, who just threw that awesome shot on 26, he says he loves video games. Do you play video games, Norm?
Well, I did. You know, I used to love them too. And then my kid loves them, but they started making me sick.
Ah, really?
Yeah, too much action going on, too much visual stuff. And yeah, so I stopped.
Ah.
But
Okay.
my video games now are when we go to Vegas.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
still
I
a
play-
video game, right?
I play those, yep.
Yeah, I got to do the little
Did
key.
you live during the heyday of the, like, arcade games,
Yeah.
right? Like the Pac-Man
Oh, yeah.
and, like, all that. Like, now that's coming back around. These kids are obsessed with that.
Well, they should be.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a reason that we played them a lot because they were good.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong. Oh, man, look at that shot.
Do you throw messengers like that?
Never. Look at him. He's like, that's what I do.
Now, Norm, Brady, young Brady, he just made the cut at the U.S. Open this year.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Is that not incredible?
That's incredible. And folks, just so you know, we have to learn to compete in the U.S. Open. It's that hard. We think, oh, it's just scoring environment's lower, right? No, you have to learn how to bowl the U.S. Open. And he comes right out and makes the cut. So he's bowling the under 18. My gosh, look at what these kids do to those pins. So he's under 18, and so he made the cut in the U.S. Open at 17. Just saying.
Right. Is that not ridiculous? I mean, it's not ridiculous because...
No, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Unless
I
you're
think so.
Simo, I mean, who else? I mean, I can't even go to Tackett and say
Nope.
at 17 he made the cut. And some of us were really good in our teens.
Yeah.
And
You were.
I was good in my teens.
You were. Now, Simo, he broke one of your records, right?
Oh, he's probably broke most. Which one did he break?
What didn't he win? I can't remember which. Is he the youngest to have
No,
a
no.
Masters title?
Okay, just so you know. One time he made a telecast, and he was about a week younger than
Oh.
my record of being the youngest to ever win a tour title, okay? But that event, you made the show, and it wasn't for 7 or 8 days because you had multiple events where everybody would make shows, and they
okay.
did all the shows at the end, Blair. So what happened was he had to wait past the time He ended up winning.
You said that up,
He
didn't
ended
you?
up winning, and he did not get the record. Yeah, I set that up. Sorry, Anthony.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but he is the youngest to win a major championship
That's
now.
right. Yeah.
Which, yeah, you've got to put that right up there.
Yeah, but look at these kids.
I know.
They're like, I'm gonna break it. The only thing that we have, so now here, there, I believe there's a little gray area going on in the PBA right now, and Brady is in this gray space because he won a PBA regional title.
Was it a PBA regional and not a PBA junior regional?
It was an actual PBA regional.
Right.
Now, here's where the gray comes in. He is a PBA junior member. So not a full member, but a PBA junior member. I believe he's eligible for the TOC. He's not. We've asked.
Right.
We've asked by sleds. But that's where I think the gray area right now is because he's as full member as he can be at his age.
Right.
And he's won a
And
regional.
folks, also, there's new rules.
There are.
If you ask the old schoolers, we used to cut it off at 52.
Okay.
Now, 52 plus all of the past champions were eligible to put in equal to the last check. At that time, it was a couple of thousand. So let's say Dave Sutar could come in and bowl the TSC as long as he put up equal money to the last check. So he's not robbing anybody's money.
Yep.
And he's not keeping somebody from the field. But 54, 56 bowlers were all you had.
Wow. Yeah.
And now what you have is all resident pro champions or no, we didn't like that. No, we don't like it. So any of y'all are looking out there saying, well, I wonder how the bowlers like it. We can't stand that. Because the beauty of that event is you had to win. Now, here's another thing. I won. I wanted to bowl the TSC for 1 year. I couldn't bowl the next year, even as a national champion.
Oh, no way.
Because they only took 52.
Oh, I see.
And we were down at that point. I think that year, Sal Vimini was the last guy to get in, and he had 4 titles. So if you had 3 titles, you weren't eligible for the Tournament of Champions.
They literally went down a list.
Yes.
And where you were in the list is whether you were eligible or not.
Yeah. So what they did is they said, first and foremost is our recent champions. So they're in first. And then they went to top 24 on the point list. And then, so you had to be in top 24 on the point list. And a champion. And then they went, just to be eligible, right? And then they went by titles. So right now it'd be Walter Ray's in.
Yeah.
And, if Earl was still alive, and on down the line until you filled the field. Well, 2- and 3-time champions were not getting to bowl the Tournament of Champions. And now,
I had no idea. Yeah.
Now we had somebody win the other day that had, it was Matt, gosh, I forgot his name, and I've shared a house with the guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It's, now I'm blanking.
Anyway, he won the Tournament of Champions as a non-champion. Believe it or not. He had not even won on any level at the time.
Anyway, rules are sideways. Brady just got a turkey, so...
And by the way, that ball that he's throwing, not the style ball, or this type of ball, but the style, is amazing. It's amazing. You can look at Shelby over here on lane 28. He's a left-hander, and he just threw it. They are not leaving anything in the bag here. We got a medium pattern out there, so they're not restricted to throwing it as hard as they can or anything, and they're playing the shape, and they're winding on it.
It is 42 feet in length, so it's kind of a...
That's pretty long, isn't it?
Medium long, that's what I think. So we had a 37-foot short pattern, which is a little medium. Sometimes 37's medium, right?
Yep,
medium. And then medium, 42 is a little long for a medium, but they have 25 mils, so less volume, more distance.
Less amount of oil, however, it is oiled longer.
Yeah. So there you go. That's
so you
what
got a couple.
on.
What's the long pattern? What's
question.
the distance?
The distance is 47 feet.
47 feet is definitely long. Look,
That's a long pattern.
From the foul line to the end is 60 feet. That means they're oiling them all the way down there. That means it's very hard to get your ball to hook back.
I was watching some of the young ladies who throw it phenomenally on the long pattern, and even they were having some problematic in practice. They were using some big balls,
Yeah.
and it was
And sanded.
was not doing much.
Well,
So
that was a great shot right there on lane 26.
that was Mr. Jackson Day, who is from. I just pulled up his bio. Ooh, I don't know how to say that. Valrico, Florida. Valrico, Florida.
I don't have my glasses, so I can't see what you're reading.
Valrico.
Valrico.
Valrico, Florida. That's where he's from. He has shot 842 points in league. 842.
842s. That's a big set.
That's a huge set.
Yeah.
He also plays the cello and does basketball, and he plans on attending the University of Central Florida in the fall.
Well, and you know what? If you're playing the cello and you're bowling, you got bowling touch.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have touch.
You got to have touch. Yeah, the rev rate is just compounding, and for good reason. Look, bowling is about power now. We have so much oil in the front of the lane, and they oil them constantly. So that plays to the power, no doubt about it. And if you don't have that power, then you're spotting an edge.
Yes.
So when you're looking at the guys that are dominating the tour right now, you're talking about E.J. Tackett, Simo Belmo, Troop. Every one of them have rev rate. And then if you look at those that are right in between, let's say Bill O'Neill would be the top player right now using his whole hand. Tommy Jones has always been very good. Tackett, by the way, he revs it like a two-hander, almost doesn't count. But those are the players that, to have a great year, they've got to career it now because they're not afforded the advantage that they had when they were kids.
Right.
Like Tommy Jones used to be. He used to be a buzzsaw guy, right?
No kidding.
Oh, he's not even a tweener now, okay? And he'll even tell you, I'm not close to these kids.
So I was working on an interesting project recently for Storm, and I'm glad you mentioned the word tweener because we just came out with a ball named the DNA Coil,
Okay.
right? And so we're doing this little quiz that's going to start next week for bowlers to, as a fun game, just identify themselves as what type of bowler they are.
Okay.
Stroker, tweener, cranker, two-hander.
Okay.
I had the hardest time in the world figuring out what bowler on the PBA tour right now would be considered a tweener on our staff, on our Storm team.
On our Storm team?
Yes.
Oh, a tweener would be Tang.
So that's what Matt McNeil said.
Yeah, Tang.
He said Darren Tang. Now, I had Darren closer to cranker.
Oh, no, not
Right.
even close. No.
Yeah, so who, as a one-hander, who would be a cranker on our team?
Oh, on our team.
Not two-handed, one-hander.
I don't know if there is one.
That's what it's tricky, right? When you start looking at it.
Very. In fact, I'm not pulling up anyone.
Right. Maybe like Wes Malott.
Wes Malott's back to tweener now.
I know, right?
I'm sorry to say, Wes.
I hate, like younger years, Wes. Like if I get
I know.
a young picture.
All right, well, let's look at this delivery here on 25 right there, and you tell me that Wes Malott is not a tweener, right?
Oh, I know. Right.
Come here, Brady. Sign my shoe.
Anyway, it was an interesting project, and I think that I don't want to say the terms are a little, like, we almost need new terms, right?
We almost need new terms,
Yeah.
What tweener, what are you in between now?
What are you, right?
Yeah, or is it 600 rev rate and 400 rev rate? Is that a tweener, or is it, yeah, I don't know.
Right. Anyway, you brought that up, and I'm like, I was just doing that on the airplane, and I was like trying to figure it out. I even asked Leanne, and she was a little stumped too. We were a little stumped.
Here's Michael on lane 25. By the way, he's got the front five.
Absolute power.
Yeah, but he left go. Yeah, that one there slipped off
dear.
early. You could see it. You know, even as a one-hander, I can tell when the two-handers look good.
Absolutely.
Man, the worst part about having a five-bagger is when you get six, it's no good. You just wreck. So it's essential now that Michael picks up the spare so he doesn't just crush the whole five-bagger, you know? An open
think he's
losing
gonna get
count
it.
is all right. Yeah, he's got
that
a
was
wally on.
all right. Good go of it.
Yeah, that's two opens right there, the equivalent of anyway. And
I think this is Mr. Raider, who's stepping up on 27. Everyone was asking about where's Raider R this morning. I think that's Raider R. Everyone was looking for it.
Oh, yeah. Raider is definitely on lane 27 right now.
Yeah. So anyone in the chat that was looking for Raider earlier, we found him. Here he is.
He throws a nice shot, too.
He does, yeah.
His bowling ball is quite dull because he's not throwing quite the rev rate. He's also playing a little bit straighter for the right. You know, so far it hadn't worked out perfect for him, but he did get a Brooklyn for a double right there to make up for that open frame.
I like Jackson's game a lot, man. Whew. All these kids, though.
Yeah.
I watch them and I'm like, I don't bowl like this.
No. No. Nor did I.
Now, if you could go back, would it be two-handed?
No, Lord, no. Nobody would.
Okay.
Nobody would throw it with two hands back then because
No, I mean like today. If you were starting, if you were a kid
if
today,
I was starting today, I would be
Yes.
two hands, no doubt. I would
Okay.
throw a two-handed ball. Ball with two hands, and I would throw it right to left and left to right. I would play both sides of the lane. I would learn to wind that thing and go toward the left gutter. Yes, I would. Now, Simo won a tournament doing that,
he did.
and
I was
we,
there for
we-
that.
Yeah, we were
It
saying
was-
earlier in the chat
were.
that my perfect bowler would do that,
Yeah.
and then when he
He did it.
did it and showed Belmo it was possible, Belmo texted me, said, "You called it, mate. It's my turn." So
I remember
I would do that.
sitting on the side of that show and going, "This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen," in a good way, right?
Simo's an anomaly, folks, that we just can't keep our eyes off of.
It's amazing.
Belmo, of course. You're going to win 14 major championships on my watch, and I'm not going to watch the no. Belmo, absolute anomaly.
Yeah.
And then you've got those like Simo that do things that even trump, others.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will tell you, Danielle came on. That was a phenomenal shot again.
Phenomenal.
He's back on it. He had a little break.
Yeah.
He took a little nap last frame. Danielle McEwen came on the morning bowl. She bowled with Anthony Simonson at the Lucy,
Right.
and
They won, didn't they?
they did. And she said, because we asked her, like, how was it bowling with Anthony? She goes, he's completely fearless. She goes, he like literally will decide something. She's like, it takes me 3 frames to really commit to a change, right? Like I have to do something really crazy.
Hmm.
And she's like, he did it in a frame. He would do something. He didn't, even if he struck,
Right.
he didn't like it. He changed to something
Yeah.
completely different.
Me too. I'm that way.
Yeah, right. And so it was. She goes, I really learned a lot from bowling with him.
Right.
Being that fearless person.
Some people will get a read, and they will strike a defense against the read and say, well, I'm bowling better, we're doing this. Or I'm in the 8th frame, only have 2 more frames, I may as well change in the fill ball. I mean, they're now trying to build a case for staying put. Not me. I was not that way at all. I'm like, you do it, do your read, do it now and without fear. And if you can't do that, young man, there's a one-way ticket home for you. And I tell you, that's why when people say that I was the most versatile, I was, and it was a lot of the reason was because of my commitment to, if I read throwing it over the gutter cap and banking it off 5 down lane, I'm doing it. And if I can't do it, I'm going to do it until I can. It's just that way.
Yeah. And these kids need to hear that, right? Because sometimes they get stuck in the very common, well, I like to play this part of the lane.
Well, even pros need to hear this because you just mentioned one, Danielle.
Yeah.
She recognized that that's something that she could actually improve upon.
Absolutely.
Because she's getting the correct read. Do it. Do
Right.
it with confidence. And that
Right.
way,
Don't be
even
scared.
if it doesn't work out, you get enough read that you make a quick move, bam, and now you're on the good train and not the bad train. You don't want to be the bad train in bowling. That's no good.
Great shot by Brooks there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, you're right on, and I think the more that these kids bowl on patterns, the more they can commit to those changes. Because you know, and you tell kids all the time, like people ask, how do we prepare for a tournament environment? You bowl tournaments, right?
You bowl them.
Because you can't really duplicate what you see, like on the PBA tour. There's no way to duplicate it.
No way to duplicate. any of it, right? And as much as we try, people will build a pattern and they'll bowl on that pattern. That's probably the worst thing they could possibly do, because that pattern is no more going to be like that when they get on tour. So what they're doing is building a preconceived notion, number one, and number two, they're practicing something that will work on that notion, not the real one.
Yeah.
And so you have to expose yourself to tournament play. Like you said, there's just no replacement for it. Look at this guy whining.
Brady's on a 5-bagger. Oh, make that 6.
I don't think that he's stopping, because you look at how calm, how under control the shot is. There's no confusion there. He's
No.
lined up. He knows he's got a little room. He just got off the short pattern, which made him feel like it was handcuffed, hands behind his back. So now he's feeling free, and he's like, yeah, now this is more my style. He's liable to strike the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And this
yeah.
one too, if he does, that's just beautiful.
That is so good. His game is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know why that ball went high. I don't, because boy, he threw that shot so clean.
He did. Now, if we were shout out to our supporters, KEGEL, right now, because Specto is a really amazing tool.
It is amazing
for these tournament bowlers to go and get a little read. If there's a bowling center that uses Specto near you, or if you make a trip down to KEGEL. KEGEL, I think they should use this as a slogan. They told it. Del Warren said it to me in a conversation when we were about to leave KEGEL. He said, "We've become a destination." And I go, "You should be the destination for bowlers. That should be their slogan."
Yeah.
Because he's like, people save up money and come like any bowler, right? You don't have to be Norm Duke to go train at KEGEL. You can be bowling just your normal leagues and want to get better.
Right.
And want to understand truly, how can I get better?
And their coaching staff is wonderful. They have all of the equipment that you'd possibly want. I do 3 or 4 events at KEGEL a year.
Great job by Jackson. Not to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, obviously sponsored by Storm.
Yes.
But I get to go to that amazing facility, and I work with those amazing coaches. And even as a 40-year tour player, and I have as much experience as anybody, there are still things that I learn from them every trip.
Yeah.
Partly because I'm open-minded and I'm willing, and partly because they know things that I've never even been exposed to.
They're incredible.
Exactly. And as this sport grows and all of the equipment is improved, we have to, as people my age, we have to keep an open mind, because it's changing right in front of us.
Yes, it is. Here's Brady.
Brady, he's looking for that 7-bagger.
He's got it.
I tell you what, we are seeing the future right here.
I feel for Ethan there. That was a really great
Solid
shot.
8.
Solid 8. Yeah. Have you left any of those in your career?
Never.
Never.
They were always wiggler 8s.
That's funny. Oh.
Yeah, my 8 pins usually came with the 10 pin. And so there were so many years that we couldn't get our ball to hook on the back end no matter what we did, because we only oiled them once a day. And so leaving an 8-10 at night was like, that was your best shot. You left an 8-10.
Sabian needs to move left already.
I think so too.
He and that's, I think, going to be the trickiest part of this medium for this age group, is staying ahead of moves, because they have such a, like you said,
like that one.
Right.
That's 2 shots in a row from Michael. And as soon as he got it to the right, out near the friction, the ball overhooks. Now, if you look at the rest of the field, they're creating that burn, because there's so much rev rate. It's just peeling oil off the front. And, you got flare ball, so it doesn't have an oil ring and then an oil ring on top of it like we used to have.
Right.
No, it's an oil ring, a flare, an oil ring, flare. And so you get 14, 15 oil rings picking up oil. It doesn't take long to get a plane to burn out. And if you have this much rev rate on it, like let's say that of Michael, you have to stay in front of it, like you just mentioned, Blair.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be high first. You're going to make a move and be high. And you got to make another move and be high. You're 3 times in a row. You made moves too, and you're high on both of them simply because you didn't get started quick enough. So you had to over move once. Yeah, well, you missed that too. You missed the move, missed the over move. Now you're in jail.
You're describing how I bowl tournaments.
Isn't that great? Because I did it too.
Oh, that was a great shot.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, I always get stuck in the I didn't move fate.
Oh
I
boy,
hate
and you know
that
it's so
phase.
hard. It's so hard. You know, as a player when you're competing, this is how I thought about it. Norm, and I say that out loud. Norm, do I need to move a quarter board every shot? Do I need to move a half every shot, or do I need to throw 3 and then move 2, 3 and then move 2, or is it a board and a half every 5 shots? Oh, by the way, day 4 or day 3 is going to change because you're going to start eliminating bowlers.
Yeah.
And now you go from 4 people on a pair to 2, or from 5 people to 3. Something now you're going to have whatever rate it was. You're going to change that rate now. You're going to say, okay, what used to be a quarter board every shot is now a half board every 3 or 4 shots.
And it's different every tournament, right?
It's different every single
Yeah.
tournament, and that is one of the things that we're trying to figure out is if it were only me, what happens? If it was me and one other person, what happens? If it was me and 4, what happens? And you're building a movement, a migration. You're building that migration in your head. Of course, you know, subject to change at any
Totally.
breath.
Yeah.
But you at least have some sort of pace in your mind of how quick they're going to go. And this is
Brady?
for the 8-bagger. And you can tell Brady moved in front of the move. He missed in just a pinch, and it stayed in that oil and never got into a roll. So he's going to leave a 10-pin. If he had a bird dog, that'd have been great, and he was relying on it.
He was
But
hoping.
he would have rather made that move too early than too late. Too
Yeah.
early, he gets to spare this 10, or maybe he gets a bird dog. Too late, he looks at a 4-9 or a 4-6.
It's all right. He's going to bowl a 266 game. I'd take that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Starting the block plus 66.
Yeah, and he missed in the 11th, which only cost him 10. It's not like he missed in the first ball.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a nice game there, and
Yeah, Mr. Ethan here. Oh, yeah.
he had the front 5. You said Ethan. No, Michael. Michael had the front 5.
Michael at the front. Ethan bowled a 198, which
He's clean.
I mean, he had a really great game.
He's clean with a split spare.
Yeah.
So, you know what that tells me? I love that guy. You know, if you can only get a double right out of the gate, you got 3 strikes all game. You got a split up there, 2 7 counts, an 8 count, an 8 count. And I'm looking at it right now. There's a bunch going on down there. He spared it all.
He did.
That's
he
my
covered
kinda-
everything.
That's my kind of player. You know, you dig just as hard or harder on those spares.
Good job, Ethan. Here's Michael.
He just made a ball change, I think. You see that right
he
there?
moved
That's bold.
deeper.
Well, it's
He-
bold too because he made a
Yeah.
ball change.
Yeah.
I don't mind bold. Hey,
Nope.
I don't mind bold. I'd rather go down swinging boldly than I would.
Absolutely.
You know, I've stayed too long. I've stayed with it so many times. The ratio of times it worked out, less than 10%.
Well, and I think what's interesting too, and I only know this because I've listened to a lot of people talk to me over the years, but in the height of your career, you guys didn't make a lot of ball changes. I shouldn't say height. In early on in your career, right?
In the 90s.
You guys learned how to manipulate your hand, and you have how many hand positions
All of them.
would you say?
Yeah, people
Yeah.
tell me, what's your rev rate, Norm? What do you mean by that? I
Yeah.
can hit whatever I want up into a max. I can start with as far load as you want and end up as far unloaded, or start out unloaded and end up loaded.
Right. So, and that's how you bowled early on.
A lot
and
of
then-
us did that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for your generation of bowlers, I've heard that it is like you guys want to manipulate your hand rather than make a ball change sometimes, but sometimes the ball change is the right move.
Well,
and you had to just embrace that and go,
Yeah, something had to be changed. And
Yeah.
we recognize that. And Simo is somebody I'll bring up and say, no, this guy, he's keenly aware of, I'm going to get up the back of this thing and leave that rev alone, not turn it as much, just wind on it end over end. He'll do that in a heartbeat. Okay,
Right.
so he's doing the same thing I'm doing, but he has a ball rep, 2 or 3 of them. He has a line of bowling equipment that can do anything. Does he have to manipulate it? No. Now it becomes Anthony's choice, which is beautiful. That's what I enjoy.
Right.
I could either change balls or change the
Right.
my hand working. So
And I think sometimes the younger generation now,
Ball.
those that
Ball.
right, they do ball, and those that learn the hand positions and manipulations, like Brady, like I see Brady change his hand position often, right? Those are the ones that can be like Anthony
and Tang
have a choice. And,
Darren
Darren
Tang,
Tang
he
is
can do
incredible.
a whole lot with a bowling ball,
Yeah.
and he is exceptional fundamentally. And so I tend to watch people like that more. I watch people that can make a game like this where they shot 9 spares and they made them all. And right here, the split conversion,
that was
so close, Jackson. Way to go.
He's
Got to take a
not
run at it
happy
in the 10th.
that he left that in the 10th, but it's still 190. So I would say hang in there, right? 190 is okay. I know the scores on this pair look high, but I'm looking around and there are some 220s, 230s, but there are some lower games too.
Well, yeah, and he's got plenty of rev rate. He's going to go over here and he's going to shoot a 260 or 70.
Exactly.
He's got that in the bag, so that 190 is not going to be the reason that he doesn't advance.
Right.
Those 140s, those 120s, those are the reason you don't advance. We got to eliminate those. And you'll never eliminate them, but you can minimize.
Here's Brooks. Oh, that was... it was a fill ball, so maybe he was trying something?
He missed it, too.
198. So, yeah, this was a great pair. 2 198s, 1 190, 202, 209, 266. Oh, we're gonna chat.
Yeah, we're gonna get to chat. I'm
hang
taking
on.
this
Actually, you can ask him some questions. I have a third mic.
Okay.
You wanna hang on a sec? Let me do this.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Hello, Mom. Back in Minnesota.
Say hi to Mom. We got Michael here. Michael, how's it going?
Good.
Good. All right. We are.
I tried it and it looked a little flat, so.
Testing. You did change balls as well as move in?
Right.
Yeah, I thought so. Sometimes it's hard for us to see what kind of ball you're throwing.
They look pretty similar, yeah.
But yeah, I thought.
I just went to a pearl instead of a hybrid. So.
Well, we got to watch the whole game. It was quite amazing. Of course, we called the washout. You dropped that early. We knew that. But the next shot on that lane, I thought was quite good. It overhooked when you got it to the right.
It hooked a little earlier than I expected. Yeah.
Early and often, like it kept going.
Right.
Yeah, I hate that, don't you?
I hate it. Yep.
We want to just put our feet on a doggone board and throw 10 shots and see how great we are, right?
That's my favorite thing to do. I like that one.
Yeah, no more. No more. How many boards in one game? Let's say you're this cross, right? Because you got a lot of rev rate right here.
Yep.
How many boards in one game are you going to migrate left?
In the next game?
Let's say,
I'm probably going to be moving 5 boards left.
5?
5 left and 2 with my eyes.
The very first shot.
Right.
Okay, so he's going to move a half a loaf to the left on his very first shot. Now then my question becomes, how many do you anticipate and have to migrate during the game? You're going to throw 5 shots on each lane?
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
During the game.
So there you are. When we're talking about staying in front of the move and transition, which is always, when we're talking about these kids have it in their mind that they know they're not going to get to stand on that same board the whole time, Blair, and just get comfortable.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
No, the game's changed in that regard. We never could just stand on the same board.
Right.
I say never. Back in plastic days, yeah, we could. Could stand on the same board for 5 games in a row and never move your feet in the 80s. But we watch y'all do that, and we're going, these kids, they know more than we will ever know.
I love it. All right, well, we're going to take a short break while everyone is changing lanes, and then we will be right back.
massive rev rate. And they were all migrating in. All of them are going to move a half a loaf on this next pair. Do these bowlers know what they're coming in?
I don't know. Now, we do in many of the seminars, players often, like yourself, will come and advise them. Hey, make sure you look near the end of your game. Don't forget to look to the pair you're going to. Now,
Correct.
the tricky thing with this, they're moving 10 lanes after every game.
It's kind of hard to keep in front of you and know what's going on. Now, TJ right there on the left lane just went dead high flush. Perfect shot.
Maybe he has a scout.
Maybe he has a scout. Maybe he's already scouted lanes. Maybe those lanes hooked more from the low end coming here. And maybe he just knows exactly what he's doing.
Maybe.
So Zachary went Brooklyn. That's more what I expected. So Zachary's going to have to sit down and go, was it me or was it the lane? Was it me? Yeah, that's a hard question to answer when you don't know the truth. And there we go with a 10 to 5. That's a completely different offering on 25 right there.
Yeah.
Because he's outside of all of that burn rev rate that we just watched. They were in. Here we go, another guy that's going to be playing a little wider than that rev rate. They're not going to see it quite as much because they're right of it. God forbid they tug 1, 2, or 3 boards and catch it. They're going to hit that burn, and it'll be Brooklyn. There's a more down and in player right there on lane 25, and his ball is just slightly high. Threw it really good, though. Sorry, brother. Threw it really good. He probably just needed to stand 2 boards further left, and then that would have been perfect.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say this is, the U18 boys. Do you remember when you were a teenager, Norm?
I don't remember last month.
Okay, well, what I'm finding is the teenage boys don't like to fill out the bios about themselves.
Why?
I don't know.
Is it because they don't have a long enough bio being a teenager?
I think they just don't want to do it.
They just don't want to do it. They want to fill it out on their phone.
Well, they can fill it out on their phone.
Okay.
I've eliminated that problem.
Blair, I'm trying.
I have an iPad right here. I'll hand it to them to fill it out.
Gosh, filling out a bio is about my favorite task now.
I know. Connor over there on 27 left the dreaded 36910.
Dreaded, yeah.
I hate that spare.
That's the PBA washout is what it is.
Mr. Dane Clark.
Yeah, and see, that's a nice shot, but he hit all that rev rate, it overhooked, and it's big 4. I just wanted to go down there beforehand and say, hey, everybody realizes you're going to need to move 3 to 4 left right now, and then just trust it.
Yeah, just trust it. If I were a U18 boy, I would be moving on every single pair I went to because it just seems like logical, right? You can move back, right? If it's too far, you can move a little back, but
yeah,
you don't want to go high.
Yeah, and you know when Michael was in and he said, I'm going to move 5 boards on the next pair.
Yeah.
I would not have done that.
Okay.
I would have said the rev rate on my pair sent me here.
Okay.
There's not going to be that rev rate up there. It's impossible. So I can probably stand right where I am now and then start my migration from here.
Well, it looks like Michael may have left an open in the first frame. There's his shot there. He is not, you are right. It's not hitting the head pin. I just saw him throw a shot. It was the rev rate. You're spot on.
And then Zachary right here, he had Brooklyn in the first on the right lane. He thought he's just going to move a board or 2 because maybe half of it was him and half of it was the lane burning up. And he threw a really good shot. It went Brooklyn again. Now I can see him. He's coming for another ball. It's going to be a ball change for Zachary, probably.
To
that
an
doesn't mean
idle.
He has to.
Oh.
So what he's probably going to do with his idle, it looks like it's a little more roughed up.
Yeah.
He might be saying, you know what? I need to get in, and this is not enough ball to make a full turn. Let me go get my idle. Let me go ahead and make the full move inside, and then get a ball that will read the burn to the right.
It.
Yeah, I do too.
I like that plan.
Yeah, if he does exactly what I just said, he needs to be a ball rep on the PBA tour right
Zachary, your future has been determined. Shot by the other Zachary. We have 2 Zacharys. Jack Pearson stepping up on lane 26. Now, here's a funny story. And his dad said, don't burn me too much on the live stream. I'm not burning him. I love his dad. I love Jack and the Pearson family, but Jack always came with his dad to SYCs, and then his mom, who usually watches on the live stream, which Mrs. Pearson, if you're watching, hello, his mom came, and he had like the greatest tournament of his life. He was like leading, and
Mom's got to come to every event.
That's what
now.
we said. He ended up finishing second in that tournament, but he has grown so much over the years bowling at SYCs. He's wearing a Midland jersey. That's where he's going to college next year, and but it was just funny. I like Mom showed up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and then we're like, so you're not bringing Dad anymore, right? But Dad's back. Dad's here.
You know, I always loved having my mom in the back. I just love it. There's so many tournaments that she was back there, and on most of them she wasn't. But when she was there, I knew it. I felt it.
Nice spare there.
Yeah,
Ryan.
nice spare. I tell you what, now, I can't see his name, the kid. Bless his heart.
TJ
He
on
went through
25.
the, he went
Oh,
through the
no.
nose on the right lane.
Okay.
And so he got up on the left lane, made the move, pured it, and it worked out perfectly. So as a viewer, I say it takes him one shot to get lined up.
Nice.
That's really good. I'll take that every time. Give me one shot, get lined up.
Oh, good shot by
Nice.
Wes.
Nice, Wes.
We like when breaks happen, right? As bowlers, we just love it.
Right. No question about it.
Now, controversial. I'll put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
Okay, did you watch the last PBA telecast that was on with all the Brooklyns and all the crazy lane?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so a lot of people were picking a side on
Okay.
this Brooklyn battle,
Oh, I know.
right?
I
How do
know.
you feel about it? Or how do you like as a competitor?
Okay, I'm going
Share
to
your
answer your
thoughts.
question right after Zachary. Right? Zachary went and got that idol. He moved to the right. It hooked immediately. It hooked right in his feet. He went skinny Brooklyn. The wrong way, Zach. You should have went the other way with the same ball, though. I think your ball choice was great, but inside it worked better. Now then,
All right, good shot by Jack. We have
Yeah.
to give Jack. Okay, now go ahead.
and
Brooklyn
my
battle.
take on the Brooklyns is this. We're all going to have them. We're going to get Brooklyns. No doubt about it. And if you're hoping your Brooklyn shot doesn't strike, well, then you're from another planet. We are begging our Brooklyn to either get 9 or a strike, right? And if it happens, good for us. Because we're going to hit solid in the pocket so many times that it doesn't work out that there's no way it's going to equal up. We're going to hit the pocket a lot more than we do go Brooklyn, right? Now then,
Absolutely.
if I'm sitting in Bill O'Neill's seat and I'm watching 3 Brooklyns beat me,
Not very
I
happy.
would say no. Well, now I would
Okay,
I
alright.
would say well that's the reason that the great Mike Albee would never watch his opponent throw it down there. He's expecting that person to strike, and he doesn't really care how. He says, "Show me the score. Let me post my score." So Mike was never affected by it, right? So Bill O'Neill's watching, visibly affected, not necessarily negatively,
No,
but
right.
affected
For sure,
nonetheless.
yeah.
Right? And had I been watching, I would be going, "Oh my gosh, I hope he continues to do that because it's
Right.
not going to go that well all the time." Before you know it, though, the game's over and he just bowled 250 at you with 3 Brooklyns. I wouldn't feel like I caught the best end of it, but I will tell you this, Blair. I wouldn't say the Brooklyns were the reason I lost. The reason I lost was because I didn't beat the score that was posted.
And if it's your
So-
day, it's your day. At
No
some
question.
level, right? It was his day to win.
No doubt
and,
about
and
that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
no, I think that's a great point. I did not know Mike Albee didn't watch his opponent. I love that.
No, he didn't watch his opponent. He looked down, and Mike Albee, for those of you interested, had the very best mental game of all time. Nobody even comes close. Nobody's even in his category. Being left-handed, Mike was shut out a lot of the times, and you know we're sorry. A lot of times the righties were shut out. You know, they're sorry.
Yeah.
But Mike never let it affect him. He never tried any harder or any less hard. He went about his business. He took lumps, and then he just won majors. He was so good mentally. You could not rattle Mike. Now, I bowled with a lot of greats. All right, Walter, Parker, these are great mental games.
Absolutely.
Belmo, great mental game. They don't even come close to Hobby, okay? And
I love it.
that was one of the things that Mike, he stood out with because he didn't watch his opponent. He never got negatively affected by his opponent. Isn't that great? Doesn't sound like it's that hard to do.
It sounds easy, but
Try
it's
it.
not.
Yeah, try it. Try not looking at somebody when
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
they do is going to make it to where you either eat steak or
I love
French
that
fries.
strategy, though, honestly, because you shouldn't be watching, right?
No,
I
I
mean,
watched.
Well, yeah.
I watched.
Yeah.
Because even if they carry a Brooklyn, I would say, well, I hope they continue to do that.
Right.
And I know that they're lost, and
Right.
that may lift me. The fact that they're lost may lift me. I put the fact that they're lost above that break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Because you could get yourself lined up.
right, and
And-
I knew that it wasn't going to affect me.
Yeah, I love that. Now, back to Mike Albee for a second, because these kids that are bowling in front of us need to know their history of the sport that they bowl in, I believe. Now, Mike Albee is one of the nicest people I've ever met
By far.
in my life. And on top of that, what I love about Mike Albee is in his, now that he has done competing on the tour, he spends his time representing the Hall of Fame Museum, and he is bringing the history forward.
Yeah, he
into
serves
the
on
future.
more boards than, my gosh. He's on every bowling board in the history of mankind, and he should be because he's very intelligent.
Yeah.
He's a business owner. He's a Hall of Fame bowler with more. He's the only. Well, I guess him and Belmont right now are the only ones with the super
The
duper
Grand
slam.
Slam, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Super Grand Slam.
Yeah, because I have
yeah.
the Grand Slam
Yeah.
and they have the Super Slam. I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and so if you get that much experience, business acumen, physical abilities, knowledge about the sport, he's got it all.
Yeah, and he does. And here's where keep moving left, you guys.
Yeah, now Zachary, I watched him get up on the left lane with that idol, and he made the move in. He made a poor shot. He was scared to wheel it to the right. He needed to just float it out a little bit, and he was a little chicken, and that's understandable. It's a new ball in a different area. However, he didn't make the right move, so he's back on pace to getting a ball rep position. He's back in.
Good. All
He's
right,
back in.
Zachary, you're back on track. I want to give some shout outs to some of the parents in the comments. We got Christina Reynoso, whose son Ernesto. Christina, I don't think you were listening earlier, but Keegan Alexander kicked Norm out of the booth.
Yeah, he did.
And he came in, and Keegan came in second to Ernesto in Texas, the first SYC of the year. And Keegan said that Ernesto outbowled everyone in the field, and he figured it out. It was a very difficult tournament. They had very tricky patterns.
Right.
And Keegan complimented his competitor and said, I bowled right next to him and I couldn't do what he was doing. It was incredible. So
Right.
shout out to Ernesto, who got his first SYC title last year.
Attaboy, Ernesto.
Nicole Pearson is watching.
Hi, Nicole, and
hi, Mama
congratulations
Pearson.
as well.
Yeah, congratulations on being the one that inspires your son to bowl good. I'm just kidding. Dad's here. We love Dad. Dad's cool. And then Hillary Crawley is in the chat. We also got Goodman in the chat. He has an old school thought for everyone. He said, old school thought on moving to the next pair. Move left. It's easier to shoot a bucket than a split. Something split. A white split?
A wide split.
Oh, wide split. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it is easier to shoot a bucket. I don't know on this, but
Well, the thing is, if you make the move and you have this kind of rev rate, a bucket's not what you leave. You leave the 2, 8, 10. You leave the washouts. You leave things that then you could make an argument against it if the pair you're on currently is a hooking pair. Now, that was one of the issues that we were trying to bring up, is that we watched all of that rev rate through 15 minutes of practice and then a full game. This pair is going to hook more than the pair in front of them. It is just going to do that. I know that because I watched all of the rev rate. I don't even know who's over there 10 lanes over. It's not going to be that much rev rate.
that was a lot of.
Yeah.
There were a lot of two-handers. There were a lot of rev rate.
And you remember, you called it when we watched Michael. We saw him leave the head pin. So he sold the head pin by moving that 5 boards to the left.
He did. But you know what? I like that he was confident in his move. He's like, yeah,
Absolutely.
this is what I'm going to do.
And he's right if he hadn't had all that rev rate on his pair.
He's totally right. Yeah. PBA Tour, he probably would be right.
Correct. Correct. Here's Zachary. He's going to be, well, no, he's shooting a spare now. Sorry.
It's okay. We got JJ Matthews. We got Caden White also on 27 and 28. So the families at home can see 25 and 26 and 27 and 28. So we do, and a little bit of 29 and 30, not much, but we try to show as many bowlers as possible. We know we can't show everyone, but
If your last name is White, you've got to wear white, right?
absolutely.
Hey,
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I love it. That's a sharp looking shirt too.
I like it.
I like the jersey.
Got the Storm bolt on the back, and we always like that.
Yeah, for sure. So Norm, you did bowl
Nice shot.
in Phoenix.
Yes, well, if that's what you want.
When's the next time you're going to bowl?
I'm not. No, in fact,
what
I
did
had
the
no
PBA have to offer you to get you to come and do
millions.
Oh.
The exact words from the commissioner was, Norm, after I told him I don't bowl anymore,
Yeah.
he said, Norm, it's essential that you're there, and it's my job to make it happen. Liv, the CEO of Bolero, said, make it happen. So I've got to make it happen. So if today you want to ask for $1.5 million, Norm, that's the day you need to ask for $1.5 million. So I did. I asked for $1.5 million. That's where we started.
That's
And we
funny.
came down from there quite a bit. But listen, we have so many of the other legends, okay? And it wouldn't be right if I made a different amount than them. So the fact that the commissioner asked me to bowl that, he does so much for me. I mean, if you think he just named a trophy after me. You win the Duke if you win the PBA LBC.
I love that trophy too. It's like such a great stance. Oh, we're getting a picture.
Oh, we're getting a picture. Verity's taking our picture. Now, the good news about this is y'all are about to get to listen to her instead of me.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I was gonna say was, anyway.
Nice shot.
But I think the PBA feels the same about you that Storm does. And Leanne said it in the room, and we just keep saying it because I worked with you at the TAT.
Yeah.
You've worked some military events. You've worked some of the youth tournaments. You are one of the best ambassadors that we have in the sport.
Thank you.
Still active and you know,
Thank you.
still trying to give back. And it's a pleasure to work with you at these events. And
Thank you. I so appreciate that. And it's meaningful to me because this keeps me near bowling without having to pick one up.
Yeah.
Thanks to Nickelodeon, so many of the kids grew up eating cereal, watching some of my Nickelodeon little tidbits things, and so they kind of know who I am. And, and I bowled on tour for 41 years, so a lot of different age groups are familiar with me.
Well, and I don't want to offend any of the other players that may have come through and done Q&As at the Storm Youth Championships because they are all fantastic in their own way. However, your seminar, I don't know who was more excited to hear you, the kids or the parents. Everyone is like, yeah, we're going to be there for the Norm Duke Q&A. We got questions too. So you cover all ages, and it's really fun.
Right, and sometimes, you know, it's a requirement to talk to the adults as you're referring to kids and talk to the kids as you're referring to the adults. So you're telling Mom what to do when Jimmy's bowling, and you're telling Jimmy what to do when Mom's watching. And we've seen so much of it. And I'm going to tell you, the behavior of these kids, it's off the charts. It is absolutely a wonder to see the great sportsmanship, the rooting on all the other players, the family atmosphere, the camaraderie over time that they build with their competitors. These people go to the swimming pool together. They go and have lunch together. They go over here. They stay at the same hotel. The next thing you know, they're going to be the house. It's going to be the SYC house, right?
They've done that already.
They have, haven't they?
but you know, no, it's you're absolutely right, and they're competing against each other.
Sure.
They're also rooting each other on.
It's a great experience.
Amazing.
And then I get to be around all of them, the parents, the kids, and you know, younger brothers, older brothers. There's all kinds of, and they treat me so very well that, you know, I'm a blessed human being. Blair, I'm a blessed human being. So
well, we love you. So,
thank you.
well, Verity is gonna take your spot. You're gonna go and hang out with some families.
I am.
Yeah, and chat with some bowlers, and we will see you tomorrow.
I'll see you
Probably.
tomorrow on the live stream.
Yes.
Can't wait. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. All right. Well, thanks for being here, Norm.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed it, and I'm letting Verity bail me out. Come on, Verity.
All right. So that, of course, was Mr. Norm Duke.
Norm is just fixing his hair.
He was. He still has some. Oh, Norm Duke. Norm
I
Duke.
love Norm.
I do too. I've worked 2 events back to back with him, and he's just a joy. He really is. So you guys are all lucky that he's here this weekend. Verity, you're back.
I'm
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
I have to tell you, this coffee cup made me smile because of how happy it is.
Well, good.
Verity brought back this here. Let me show you guys. There's like the happiest little smiley face.
That
It's so
is
small.
really cute. Mine had a little sticker on the top with the same picture.
It's like the I'm like, wow, how can we? I took a picture, sent to
Yeah.
Leanne. I'm like, there's no way this afternoon is like this morning because look how happy it is. So, all right, what have you seen? Medium pattern.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I
That's
was
okay.
trying to take some videos of
Yes.
people striking, or at least hitting the pocket. And I think I became a black cloud.
I've been
Because
there.
it has not gone very well for everyone that I have been watching. And I'm not sure if it's me or if they're just that difficult. However, like I kind of spoke about this morning in terms of knowing that this bowling center is a little bit better when your angles are straighter, that's where the medium becomes tricky, right? Because the medium makes you want to open your angles a little bit. But this bowling center just doesn't love it when that happens.
Absolutely. Well, you know what is unique is the rev rate on 25 and 26. The first game, Norm was talking about it. We had Brady's pair bowling here. They have a very high rev rate on that pair, so they shoot up their own lane.
Yep.
And then this group came there, and that was a great shot. Every bowler has had to move left
Yep.
from whatever they started on, and then the bowlers that were bowling here, Brady's pair, moved down there thinking they needed to move left, and then they had to move back right.
Yeah. And that's actually something I spoke about in the seminar yesterday, is watching the pair that you're going to. And that in this situation could be so crucial to not waste the first few frames.
Yeah.
Because if you know that you're going to Brady's pair and you know that Brady and the rest of the guys are 5 left of you when they're finishing up their game, then it gives you that idea of, okay, I'm either going to throw the same shot, and when it hooks, I'm not going to blame myself. I'm going to know that the lane's just hooking. Or I'm automatically going to make a 2, 3, 4 board move, just knowing where they finished. And then the same goes for, Brady coming off his pair, going to the next one. Well, he has to be aware of where were those guys playing.
Yeah.
Because then he can, kind of make the assumption of, I need to move back to the right because the lanes haven't broken down as much.
I was totally distracted when you were talking because JJ threw he had the split. I don't know what split it was. It was a large one. He threw it so hard in the gutter because he was frustrated. It bounced out and converted the split.
Oh, wow.
I was like, so I was completely distracted because he then
It's
had
fine,
to.
Blair. You just missed such crucial information from myself that everyone else heard but you.
It's fine. They're listening. I was like, oh my gosh, he just went from having a split spare to 8 miss. So sorry, JJ. But anyway, all right, back to.
But that's a lesson for him about being frustrated. He
True.
hadn't have been so frustrated, he wouldn't have thrown it so hard at the gutter. And maybe he could have actually made it without.
Hard lesson to learn.
Exactly.
But it is a good one, and we've all been there. Okay, Mr. Zachary. Yeah, this pair's hooking. This pair's gonna be hooking all day. This is what we're gonna be dealing with.
Well, at least it'll be fun for you to watch when you see the first few frames through the face, and you're sat back here like, they just need to move.
I know, right? I felt really good because I said, I think they should move, and Norm was like, "You're right, Blair." It's like, Norm Duke just said I'm right.
You're gonna remember that moment for a long time.
I will. It was great. Good spare there. What is your now? We've been talking about positive mindset all day,
Yes.
so I this is a very negative question.
I don't want to hear it then, Blair. Nope, not happening. Okay, can you reword the question so it's less negative?
Let me think.
Challenge for you.
is there a spare that you find more challenging than the others?
Splits are obviously going to be the most challenging. I will not choose anything that I consider makeable because I want to say that everything.
Yeah, see,
Right?
I knew you were going to do
If
I love your positive spin.
If I pick a specific spare, then it's going to be too much in my head. I think most people that know me probably know what the answer is,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying it.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Let's leave it at that.
I need Verity to come sit at Storm every day and give us like positive. You're like the positive person. I love it.
It's hard though. It's something I feel like I've had to train myself to do.
It's great.
Because it is so much easier to focus on the negative
Oh yeah.
than it is to think about the positive. And for me, it's all about the little wins, right? That's something that's really stuck with me. I read a book not that long ago, actually, last July, called The Gap and the Gain. And if anyone is looking for a mental game book to read, I absolutely loved it.
Can you
right?
repeat it?
The Gap and the Gain.
Gap and the gain.
Gap
Okay.
and the Gain.
Yep.
Just so good because it puts your mind in a different perspective of, okay, well, what is the gain of this situation, right? So if something bad happens, you ask yourself, what is the gain? And it's basically looking for those little wins that we don't celebrate. We celebrate the bad so much more.
Yes.
And we often forget about the small good things.
I love that. Well, you know, we always have the youth bowlers. Actually, one of the youth bowlers came in and was sharing with us that her coach has a 5 mental game. I'm sorry. When you start doing lessons with this coach, he requires you to read 5 mental game books from his list, and then you can start lessons, which I found
That is cool.
incredibly
I love that.
interesting.
I would like to know what the list is.
Yeah, one was chop wood, carry water.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Joseph Medcalf. I've
And
read
that-
all of his books.
Yeah, and I've heard that one come up a lot with
Yeah.
bowlers lately. The winning mindset was another one.
Yep.
There were 2 we had never heard of, and I can't remember the 5th one. There was another one that was more common, but she had not heard of the inner game of tennis, and we were like, "Oh, you need to read that one."
See, a lot
Ooh.
of people love that, but I hate it. Controversial, I know, because a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, integrated tennis," but it just didn't sit right with me.
I feel like it is a little older too, maybe, like because some of the more modern books are like. I feel like the mental game's evolved for people, especially for athletes. Like you see now, and this is what the kids really are focused on, right? Because when you're a kid, you are all in. You have favorite athletes that you're following. They might be bowlers, they might be other sports, and I think there's been a lot of talk about the mental game now more than ever before
100%,
in
yeah.
other sports. So.
I mean, even growing up, like when I was a youth bowler, I did actually work with a sports psychologist when I was like 16, 17. But there was way less chat about mental game than there is now. Like I was part of a Team England training and we touched on it a little bit about positive self-talk and a little bit about confidence, but it was nowhere near as big as it is now. And I think, again, we've, even from a mental health standpoint in society, it's spoken about so much more.
Yeah.
That there is a lot more awareness. There's also been a lot more research just on the psychology of our brains that enable a lot of these books to give the information just because we actually know from a technical standpoint what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not a stigma anymore, right? Like people can be overcoming things, adversity and that kind of stuff, and it's okay. Like it's,
Yeah, and I think also social media is so big now, so athletes have this outlet to be able to actually talk about what's going on and talk a little bit more about their mental health as well.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's great that people talk about it, right? Like everyone has their own struggles, and it's good. So Verity has a book for you all to read.
Yes.
And if you join her community, so how do you join the Verity community?
You literally just sign up. It's as simple as that. It is a website, so I do everything through Patreon. Patreon is its own platform, and then you have different creators that have their own Patreon page. And it's a subscription platform, so it is paid. there are a couple of different tiers that I have. So I have a coaching side to where I do monthly video calls. But then there's also just a regular $10 a month to where you have access to everything that I post and everything that I share.
I
So
love
it's
that.
just online. There is an app for it, which is quite handy because you can just check out everything on the app.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important because one of the parents put you on the spot and asked, you know, if you only bowl on tour
Yeah.
3 months a year, how do you make a living,
Yeah.
right? Which, but this is how, right? Like, you know, it as bowlers, if you want to learn from Verity, and I like what you've done because not only do you compete, but you've also learned from some of the best coaches in the game, and you are building your own coaching resume, and you've coached a lot at all levels. So I think it's
Yeah,
awesome.
and it's just like I know that I'm constantly learning. Like I don't know everything.
Right.
There's a lot left that I have to learn. But if I can share as I'm learning, then I just hope that it helps people.
yeah.
And I've kind of used that platform as a way for people to engage and talk with me and ask questions. Because sometimes in bowling it's so overwhelming, so much happens, we don't know why, we don't have any answers. And I certainly don't always have the answers, but I'm at least there as a sounding board for people to be able to talk through their struggles and to start questioning, okay, well, why is this happening? So then I can ask them a few questions, and then maybe that picture becomes a little bit clearer. So I've really enjoyed talking with people about just their games and trying to help as much as possible. And then it's also a lot of information, like bowling balls, right? There are so many bowling balls out there. Storm releases a new bowling ball, and I'm very fortunate enough that normally I have it before it's released, so I'm able to drill it, and I post videos on there that aren't seen on social media, so it's kind of like its own secret kind of community in a way as well, because they get to see stuff before social media kind of gets to see it. And I give my, I always give my true thoughts, even if it's there or on social media, but there's a bit more of the behind the scenes, right? I'll do a one game ball review to where I do one game and I talk through that game. And that's something I would never post on social media. Like, I just wouldn't. So that's kind of cool about it too.
That's fun. Now, do you do all of your filming at KEGEL?
Yes. For
Okay.
the most part, I train at the KEGEL Training Center. I actually live very close to there, so I'm very fortunate to spend a lot of time there. Obviously, I travel a lot as well, so But when I'm home, I consider the US kind of home now.
Very nice. How do your parents feel about that?
Not very good. I mean, I don't always feel very good about that.
Yeah.
I miss
It's hard.
England a lot. I hate being so far away from them, but for right now, the opportunities for bowling are so much bigger in the US. And I mean, even an event like SYC, I didn't have this growing up.
No.
And I wished that I could have had this growing up. And a lot of people don't realize how lucky they are. So now I try and be a bit more aware of how grateful I am and the opportunities that I have. And right now I'm just trying to make the most of it and learn as much as possible whilst I have the opportunity to be here, because it might get taken away.
I loved last year at the Lucy, your family came and you had like the biggest cheering section and your mom is so adorable. I just was like, oh, I want Verity's mom to come and cheer for me.
I know. I am
best.
very lucky to have such supportive family of what I do, and they've been that way ever since I was younger, taking me to tournaments all around the UK and traveling internationally to compete as well.
That's
And
great.
it's funny, like when I was young, my mum used to kind of get in trouble at tournaments because she would be so loud.
Oh, we've had families have that happen here.
That people would talk about her, and she got called a fire engine once.
A fire
because she
engine.
was so loud, and apparently she sounded like a fire engine, and I think that it just propelled her to be even louder, to be honest. I don't think it stopped her at all, and I love it. I mean, now, obviously, because I don't get to see them as often, if they come to an event, like, I'm just so happy to hear that sound.
Yeah.
Because I don't get it all the time anymore.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. So Jack Pearson had a very solid game. He bowled 196. He really wanted that first one in the 10 to go. We did have a 222. I'm not sure which bowler bowled that. And it looks like we might be having a fill ball attempt. But Verity, I'd love for you to stay around for another half a game. We are going to take a short break after we see Mr. West try out something different here Fill balls are important, right?
Yes, they are. I think if people don't do them, you should start doing them because you learn so much more. It doesn't mean that the ball you're throwing in your field shot, you're going to automatically start the next game with. In fact, I think it's better that you don't. But I think it's really important to give yourself another look at a bowling ball. You know, even
Yeah.
if you're about to shoot 260, I don't care. Still try something else.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we will take a very short break. And I do think it'll be a short break, and we'll be right back.
That's good. We are back in business.
We are back.
Game 3 of 5.
We have more U18 boys, it looks like. Mr. Aiden Reynolds here. It's an interesting jersey.
Yeah, I wonder if he likes bones or
Is he going to be a doctor?
That maybe. Those are pretty good though.
He does. Oh, let's look. Let's see if he filled out a bio. Let's. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Come on, Aiden. Nope.
And that's a no. U18 boys is hit or miss.
Depends if their parents made them.
Right? I think that's what it is. Let's see if Chris filled his out. Nope. We're 0 for 2. That's all right. Sometimes we know the U18 boys. They've been with us for a little while. Sometimes it's their first SYC, though.
Oh.
What I learned
Did
when
not
we
go down the
started
lane.
coming to Orlando, I learned how far it is from different parts of Florida to like get to tournaments. So like the more south that you live, it could take you like 3 hours to get out of Florida. So they don't come or they don't travel to a lot of events.
Yeah.
Because it becomes like a 7, 8, 9, 10 hour drive, and you don't think it's that far. But I had no idea. And then you guys have this thing like traffic.
Traffic, yeah. Well, when you live in Brigham,
yeah, good point. Good point. I live in Ogden, thank you very much, but we still have no traffic. my drive, I tell people, like, now I do drive 25 minutes, 30 if I hit the light. but it is so consistent every day, right? So with traffic, people are like, oh, I could be like 15 or an hour to somewhere. I know every day it's going to take me 25
I love that.
minutes.
I'm all about small places, no traffic.
Yeah, it's great. But Zachary is like the name of the year here, I'm pretty sure. Everyone is named Zachary.
I've just seen everyone go through the face, and
welcome to lane 25 and 26. I hear next to us, there's a discussion about whether to ball down or move left.
I would move left first.
That's what I would do, too.
Depending on what I'm throwing. Like, there was a guy that threw urethane, and he should probably get out of it by now.
Yeah.
But again, in this bowling center, that's where it becomes tricky, because do you move left, or do you try and ball down and stay a little bit straighter?
Right?
Bowling's hard, guys.
They don't believe you. So to the right of me, or well, you're going to see him come up. So the discussion is between Jackson Neubauer and his brother Jacob Neubauer, who actually just aged out. Jacob is in college, and he's come to ball rep for the weekend for his younger brother. So it's pretty fun. So let's see what Chris's ball. Is this this was the one that went left, or he's throwing urethane, right?
He went through the face.
Yeah. So let's see what happened. He's not changed.
Yeah, I mean his ball barely even like got through the front part of the lane.
Oh yeah. Runaway Brooklyn.
Let's hope he makes a move.
Yeah. Now this is this pair though, because like we said, it's just the first game.
Yep.
Had some bowlers with a little higher rev rate. Yeah, everyone's ball's going left. Let's see, Jackson. It looks like he didn't ball change, so he's going with the move left. I like older brother. Just make your spare. Come on.
Yeah. It's hard when you're watching, especially when you're a bowler, because you want to do it for them.
Yeah. Now let's talk about urethane for a minute. Do you use urethane?
I love urethane.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I'm one of very few female bowlers, apart from like up and coming two-handed bowlers. But at least, let's say on the women's tour, there are not very many that throw urethane, but I love it. But for me, that's because of the smooth and controllable motion that it creates. I think I definitely like to throw it slower. I like to have more axis rotation. So for that, it matches my game very well because it reads the front part of the lane very early. Then it's very smooth and controllable.
Yeah,
Pitch black, fast pitch are my go-tos, and I will have both of them on the women's tour this year.
Nice. Did you say your IQ Tour 78U?
No, I said fast pitch and pitch black.
Fast pitch. Yes. Have you thrown a 78U yet?
I have.
And it's not going with you. I like where this was going.
I will possibly drill an IQ 78 once I'm on tour.
Okay.
But it's obviously when I start off on tour, my arsenal is a little bit smaller
Sure.
based off,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
flying to the first event and everything. So it will be one that if I get on the medium patterns, I possibly will drill one. For me, I like the fast pitch and the pitch black a little bit more on shorter.
I like that. A lot of the kids love that fast pitch. They're always trying to find them because that's a discontinued one.
Yes, it is.
So hunting for the fast pitch. I think what most people, everyone asks you, I'm sure, how many bowling balls that you keep out on tour.
Yes.
And sometimes it's a pretty large number week to week, right?
It can be.
Yeah, and I think what people don't quite know, or should know, like these bowlers would know, you're going to different bowling centers, bowling on very specific patterns that you may never see again, right?
I think the biggest thing for us is we don't know ahead of time what we're going to be bowling on. So we have to go into the event as prepared as possible with our equipment. And we could bowl on 35 foot, but we could bowl on 45 foot. So I couldn't just have 6 bowling balls to tackle those 2 different types of patterns.
100%.
So that is why I have so many bowling balls with me. Now, what is important is that once we find out the pattern, on the women's tour, that is 30 minutes prior to our practice session.
A lot of time.
All of the bowling balls that I have with me are not going to get thrown in practice, right? So people will hear that I have 12 bowling balls, and it's like, oh my God, how do you throw 12 bowling balls? Well, I'm maybe throwing half of those, if that, in the practice session, because I know which bowling balls, or I like to think I have an idea of what bowling balls are best on certain situations. So once I find out the pattern, okay, well, I know I'm not, I'm bowling on 45 foot. Well, I don't need my 2 urethanes, so they can stay in the car or they can stay in the locker room. So yes, it seems like a lot, but it's also our way of preparing as much as possible for the event.
I love it. I think there's a lot of things that go into all of this that, and we try to teach the kids, right? Like, Storm comes out with a lot of bowling balls every year, which is great. And the reason that we come out with so many is because technology changes so dramatically all the time, right? And we want to make sure, I think since I started at Storm, the one thing that I've learned is our R&D team works so hard to build a line that doesn't overlap, but we also release balls throughout the year to replace balls in your arsenal at given times. So while for like kids, right? Like, yeah, you always want the newest ball, but you also need to remember what's the ball that needs to be replaced in your bag, right? And sometimes it's not the glamorous one. Sometimes you have to replace a spare ball or a new urethane ball.
I just ordered a new mix, and it's so pretty. I can't wait to drill it.
Which one did you get?
The green one.
Oh, yeah. That one is pretty. Yeah, there are some really pretty spare balls. The new Lightning Storm, that one looks really good. The new Ice is a deeper
I
color.
actually prefer the older Ice.
Oh, yeah, the little lighter color. Yeah, all right, that's fair. I was leaning, I thought it was going to be a different color when they described it, and then I was like, oh, it's very, like, deep.
Yeah, it does look good, but blue is actually my favorite color.
Oh, nice.
And I'm on the lighter blue spectrum.
Yeah, I like that. But you're right. Sometimes I'm in the market for a new spare ball. I have been for about a year, and so I need to decide. But I've been like, wait, I actually am waiting for the Ice. I prefer spare balls. Is that weird? Like, it's so weird. I prefer Ices over mixes because of the way that I see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think one hook, I don't know. I don't.
See, I've heard a lot about, people will say, oh, the mix hooks more, or oh, the Ice hooks more. It's very individual.
Yeah.
Like, to me, my mixes don't hook.
Right.
And neither do my Ice. So
plus, you also are a professional. and I'm saying that as a compliment because when I'm throwing a spare ball as a normal average league bowler who can't even beat the SYC kids, I don't manipulate my hand. So I know my Ice isn't going to hook.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it does. But, sometimes I also just miss.
Yeah. Sometimes you just stand in the wrong place, and that might be why.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that before. Anyway, all right, we digress. So let's get back to bowling. Have we conquered 25 and 26 yet? Chris is stepping up on
Chris
26.
made a move on the last one, and he did go flush. So let's see if he can do it.
We do have a comment in the chat. I'm sorry you don't have a screen this time. My
That's okay.
screen was a casualty of the tat.
Oh, what happened?
The cords are lost. So I have the screen, but we have to order new cords, and we could not get it in time. But anyway, Brian says, it is Michael Slatter's first SYC. Him and Jack Neubauer are cousins, and he's excited that they get to bowl together. And not too far apart, so they get to kind of cheer each other on and support each other.
Very nice.
Yeah, a little family reunion type of thing. Pretty fun.
Yeah, there's quite a few first-time SYC bowlers
Lots.
that are at this event, and I'm pretty impressed that they were able to sign up on time and get a spot.
They
'cause
figured it out. They've mastered it.
it sells out very quickly.
The rumors have people are warned now. They're like, oh, we've heard this
Yeah.
event. So
But that's good. That shows that people know about SYC.
It's true. And the wait list is a very fascinating thing too. Now, this new software that we're using that we're very excited, Pinwheel, Michael donates his software. He's actually here this weekend. And the most exciting thing that the software does is it automatically turns the form into the waiting list form. So no longer do the families have to clear out a screen and then go to a different form to fill out the waiting list, which is great. And I would tell anybody that if you're on the waiting list and you're relatively local to the event, I would say like you can make a last minute trip a couple days before. Most of our cancellations are the week before, and we go very far down the list. So if you're on the waiting list, don't panic.
Yeah.
Especially if you get on it immediately.
There's always a chance that you can make it.
Exactly. I think we got people in this week. I mean, we got at least 4 or 5 people in. There were some cancellations. Kids get sick.
Yeah,
Kids
it
get hurt.
happens.
Yeah. All right, Chris is going to attempt again. He unfortunately opened in the last frame. Hasn't made a ball change yet, I don't think.
Nope.
Verity, you coached college for a brief time. You enjoyed it.
I did, yeah. I coached for 3 years at Savannah College of Art and Design.
Would you ever go back to coaching
100%,
college?
I would. Right now, I would say not right now, but eventually I could see myself doing it again, yeah. I really enjoyed coaching collegiately, and I like to think I helped make an impact there.
I'm sure you did. But SCAD they're a good program.
Yeah, they are. I shout out to Katie Thornton, head coach of Savannah College of Art and Design. She does so much for her athletes. I'm very good friends with her, and obviously I worked with her, so I got to see the behind the scenes of what she does for that team and what she gives to that team, and it's pretty phenomenal how much time and effort, but also just how much love she has for the team and the amount of energy she gives them.
Well, and we've had some of the bowlers now come to work at Storm. We have Dylan and Yannick. Dylan cracks me up. And I think, it just shows the dedication that Katie teaches. And I think you may have coached when Dylan was there.
Both of them, Yannick and Dylan. Yep.
Okay, so you guys taught them true dedication to bowling. Dylan refuses to bowl league if he has not had the proper amount of practice. It is, I'm like, Dylan, it's okay. Like, it's okay. But he refuses. He's like, no, I'm not prepared. Which is just incredible.
He throws it good, too.
He throws it so good.
I always loved how soft his hand was at the bottom of the release.
Yeah, he throws it great. Both of them throw it amazing. So
yeah, SCAD's it's a very interesting school in the sense of what it provides from an education standpoint. And I think, like, if I could go back to college and do it all over again, I would love to go to SCAD. Just based off, like, I hate exams, right? I hate the study, okay, just remember as much as you can and then go fill out an exam paper. Whereas the project side of SCAD, to where you're doing projects, I think I would have loved that at university. So I would definitely like that program.
Yeah, and they just I like the way they teach them to think. Like sometimes you know, Dylan is our UX designer at Storm. And
UX is user experience.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't even know that. No, I'm just kidding. But he will come in, he'll build these presentations, and he'll do this whole, like, we have to come in and vote on all of his ideas, basically. And we always ask him, we're like, Dylan, what do you think? Or which one's your favorite? And he's like, it doesn't matter. It's the user. So I just want to hear from you. And he's like, I like all of these.
Yeah.
And
otherwise he wouldn't have made them, right?
Exactly. So, but it definitely, they're teaching them some really cool stuff at SCAD. So if you're a bowler, go check it out.
Yeah, they just have they have very good professors, and it opens a lot of opportunities to work with very big companies.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you actually go through their recruiting process and you learn all of the closeness they have with some of the big companies, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to work at Storm, go to SCAD.
Seriously, it seems like there's a little, they're very creative career paths that are taught at SCAD, and currently Storm is growing, but marketing was kind of the really point of growth the last couple of years. But I was impressed by KEGEL too. KEGEL has a lot of not openings, but opportunities for jobs. So if you're a youth bowler, I always said when we started doing these SYCs that when I watch these kids, not only do I see the future of bowling, but I also see the future of jobs in bowling.
So true.
Right? Because not only are they creating jobs because there's so many of them, and then that creates more work.
Yes.
But it also, you know, some of them will want to. Hold on. I have to tell the bowler they're causing earthquakes again. We aren't having an earthquake. It's just Keegan Alexander. Stephanie's watching, so that's why I said
You're going to have to put up a sign that says, please do not lean and shake.
Yes. Apparently, this table in the middle is very loose because it is the one that shakes the most. But anyway. All right, so what do we got? We got a little bit of striking.
Quite a few opens on the scoreboard.
Michael is first SYC. He got his Brooklyn strike. We just had a discussion, Norm and I did, about Brooklyn's.
What was the consensus?
You're not giving your Brooklyn back.
Nope. I'm keeping it. That is for sure.
We were talking about did you watch the last PBA telecast where?
Yes.
Yeah. So that we were talking a little bit about that, and he was sharing, as a competitor, he understands where Bill O'Neill, like, you know, you're not happy about what's happening.
Of course, but you're also not happy because you want to win.
Right.
It doesn't even matter how it happens.
Right.
You just want to win.
Exactly. Right. So, and I think at some level, it was the other bowler's day, right? Like sometimes it's just your day, right?
And another way you can look at it is, if you miss and you get away with it, then you're probably doing the right thing.
Right. You're close.
You are close enough to where your miss gave you an opportunity to still get a strike.
Well, and that pair looked very hard.
It did. They were just so deep from the get-go, and I would have loved to have seen someone come on and just move 15 right and see what would have happened.
Yeah, right. Like, what's over there?
Yeah.
Because no one tried that. Now that you mention that. They all were
They were all deep, and they obviously went so deep, but then were throwing it so slow, so of course their balls hooked a lot. And
right.
Couldn't quite get it down the lane as easy as they probably should have.
Yeah. Well, and I know we've asked you guys often about bowling on TV, and the consensus is it goes so fast, right?
Yeah.
So you like... So
it can do. Actually, my last TV show that I bowled, I found a way to like slow down time.
Oh, wow.
Because it does go so quickly if you're not aware of it, right? It can just go by in a blink of an eye. You look up, you're in the 7th frame, and you're like, oh, where did the game go?
Yeah.
So I like made such a conscious effort the last show that I was on to be so, I don't even know how I did it, like so in the moment, but just like I was so aware of everything that was going on
To
because
try
I
to slow
wanted
it.
to try and slow the time down.
Yeah. I think that's key. Because even when watching, some shows feel very, very quick.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just you're blinking, the match is over, right? Like, which is good for TV, not good for the bowler, I think. Nice spare there by Sean.
Is the baby split makeable or not makeable, Blair?
Well, it's makeable. It's a split. I think it's makeable. What do you
So-
think?
I think it's makeable, and I wouldn't say it's a split.
Okay, you don't think it's a split.
Like if let's say I was doing statistics, and you do statistics of how many splits did you leave, I wouldn't count it.
Okay.
But I think that's because when I bowled for Weber International, they didn't count it as a split when we did our stats. So I think
nice.
that's just where it came from. And we used to, have spare shooting practices, and it was always written as being a makeable spare, not a split.
That's a very interesting way to mentally teach you, right? Like, this is not a split.
Yeah.
You're going to make
Yep.
it every time. It is a spare that
And
you should
actually,
make.
like, if you're doubting yourself, I'm like, it's just a 3-6-10.
Yeah.
Because
It
it is. You shoot it the same way.
Yeah.
I actually stand in the exact same spot as when I shoot a 3-6-10.
Now, how do you feel? Do you hook at the 3-6-9-10 or do you?
I hook at the 3-6-9-10,
Okay.
yes, but I throw straight at the 3-6-10.
Okay.
Because if I go straight at the 3-6-9-10, I find that I always leave the 9 pin.
Okay. Yeah. I think that one is I think that's trickier than the baby split, the 3-6-9-10.
I don't know. I quite like the 3-6-9-10.
I mean, well, yeah, you've got your positive thing going on. I don't think anyone can bring Verity down.
Maybe not today. Today's it's a good
I
day to
love
have
it.
a good day, Blair.
I love it. I really appreciate it. I was joking with Leanne because this has been a very positive mindset type of weekend.
Well, when you've got Norm too.
Oh, I know, right? So when we were traveling on, no, it was Thursday. So normally on Thursdays, we fly in Wednesday. Thursday is complete setup day, right? And normally we will come in the morning and get everything done so that we can have kind of an evening, like go to dinner, do work, whatever. We drove to KEGEL, as you know. That took up the entire day. The entire day, Leanne was mentally going, oh, it's going to be a quick setup. And I kept thinking, I'm like, you were being so optimistic about this because I knew that we were going to have to move bowling balls and all this stuff, but she was trying to will it that, oh, it's going to take no time at all. And it really didn't take very much time because of the awesome people at Boardwalk. They were helping us move all the bowling balls and set up the room. So we really were only here for about 2 hours, but it was very interesting. I was like, this is very optimistic. So optimism, that is the word of the weekend.
So good one to have.
All right, let's see what Mr. Jackson does here. Oh, he has moved very deep. His ball rep back here has finally got him in the right part of the lane, I think.
But at least he's been clean through 7 frames. That makes a difference. Like when you are searching for something and you're trying to figure out what to do on the lane, it doesn't always become about I need to strike, I need to strike. If you can just leave something makeable,
Yeah.
then you know you're at least going to shoot 190. And at some point you probably are going to strike. You're probably going to put a double together somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can grind out those pairs where you're kind of struggling a little bit. It's another good shot, right part of the lane. You know what we haven't had today is any runs for 300.
No, I haven't seen that many high scores.
Yeah. Maybe some 260s, 250s. I don't know if I've seen a 279 today. I'm
I
sure
have
there.
not.
Yeah.
Blair, did you like the Jammy Dodger? Did you try it?
I did. It was delicious. It was, okay, so I would say that the jam was not the consistency I expected it to be, and it was really good. It was very delicious.
For those of you who don't know, Jammy Dodgers are my favorite English biscuit.
It would
And
be excellent with coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Cheers. Cheers, Verity.
I did bring you coffee, so it was a perfect
I know.
match.
I know. You brought us coffee and biscuits.
Should have been tea.
So now, when okay, so today, let's for example,
Yes.
because I would assume that's like a cookie type candy type of treat, right? How frequently in England do you guys eat those sweet type of cookies?
So it really depends. Like right now, I'm
Right.
like never.
Yeah.
But I would say it's very common to have an afternoon, like maybe 2-3 o'clock. You would have a cup of tea and you would have a biscuit with it. Like just one biscuit to go with your tea, and it's like an afternoon snack.
Right.
I would say that's very common. Even for people who work in an office, I would even say that happens.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's just cup of tea time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You would have a biscuit with it.
We do afternoon coffee at Storm.
There you go. So you
We
just
do.
need to partner it with a
With a
biscuit,
biscuit,
or a
yeah.
cookie.
Yeah.
You should start that trend.
I think we could make this happen. Jeremy wants to know, did you take cookies? No one is allowed to steal any of our Verity cookies. We have claimed those in the tournament office. Do not,
Yes,
do
those
not
are-
go steal.
Those are hidden.
Yeah. However, there are some cookies all around. Our young bowler Trent Bombs brought some cookies today. So you go home about once a year now. Is that kind of what it is?
Right now, I tried to go home more than that.
Okay.
2 to 3 times is kind of what I am aiming for at the moment. This year is going to be a little bit different just because of my visa. I'm back in a visa situation year, so it makes things a little bit more complicated. But since I left SCAD, I tried to tell myself, like, I'm so much happier when I go home and when I see my family. So I need to find a way to, whether I'm going home or whether I'm just seeing them at some point,
Yeah.
like 2 to 3 is ideal. Christmas is like my one set in stone to where I cannot miss going home for Christmas. But apart from that, I then try and get in maybe another trip, or, you know, my parents are actually coming over in April, so I'm really excited to see them
That's
soon.
awesome. Yeah, that's. Now, did they come to Florida?
They are. yeah,
Okay.
they're coming to Florida.
I'm assuming they've been to Florida.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been quite a few times. When I was in college, like the first year, they came out with me to kind of get me settled.
Yeah.
And then every now and then they have come out and had a couple of holidays here. And
Yeah.
if they can come to a PWBA event, then they will. But they probably make one trip a year at the moment to the US. And this year, it just didn't make sense for them to come to a PWBA event. Last year, they actually came to the Lucy. So that was
Yeah.
really fun just because it's a very different event.
It is. It's more like a party almost.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah. Now, are your parents still working? Or are they
No,
retired?
they're actually retired.
Nice.
My dad retired over a year ago, and my mum only just retired. So
Okay.
it's new for her to be
Yeah.
retired, and I'm hopeful that that means that I can see them a little bit more, even
Yeah.
if they are maybe meeting me at a tournament in Europe. Normally, once my tour season is over, I try and compete internationally. That's the goal anyway. So
Right.
the goal is then that they come, so that way they can watch me
Yeah,
compete.
it's a
It's
little easier.
a lot closer
Yeah.
to take a couple of hour flight to somewhere in Europe than it is to fly 8 hours to the US. And even just, you know, from a cost perspective, it's so much more expensive to come to the US than it is to go somewhere in Europe.
Now, when you went to college, so a lot of these bowlers are starting to plan their college move-ins,
Yes.
right? How does an international student move into college? Because did you bring things? Did you just buy things?
I mainly bought things.
Yeah.
And I obviously came over with a suitcase full of clothes. And then once I was in the US, I was staying in a hotel with my parents. Once the dorms were open for me to move in, we literally went to Walmart and I bought everything from the bedding to bits and bobs all over the place just so that I could decorate my dorm room and have the supplies that I need. Like as simple as, you know, shampoo and conditioner.
Right.
Like obviously when you're traveling internationally, you can't pack everything like that.
Yeah.
So Yes, we did a big Walmart shop when
Okay.
I first came to the US.
Yeah. Which I think is actually becoming more of the norm. Like even my little sister, she's going to school in downtown Chicago, and we're from Ohio, obviously, so it's drivable, and
Yep.
they drive every year. But we bought most of the things that she needed for like the dorm room.
Yeah.
It is like she brought her clothes. She's a musician, so she brought all her musical instruments, which took up plenty of room in the car.
That's why she had to go shopping when she got there.
Yeah, there's only so much you can take, but a lot of the cleaning supplies and that there's no point in packing it.
No, it's easier,
Yeah.
isn't it? If you're going to buy it, if you're at home, then you might as well just buy it when you're actually in the area that you're going to be living in.
Yeah. She's actually going to study abroad next fall.
Oh, where's she going?
Germany.
Very nice.
Yeah, she's very excited. I don't know which city in Germany yet, but she worked very hard, and that was something she wanted to do. And I guess her school they own a studio in Germany that is connected to the school, and so the musicians can go over, and it's like a recording studio
Yeah.
and everything. So she is very excited to go and do that, and then just travel around Europe, I think.
That is really cool. That's actually something that SCAD do as well. They have a campus in France, so you can do a study abroad in France, which is phenomenal.
Someone stole our Snickers. I think it's okay.
I think we'll be okay. Even Keegan did steal the Kit Kat, and out of everything that was there, that would have been the only one I would have eaten. But it's a good job he took it, so that way I didn't have to.
He was very excited about that Kit Kat.
He was clearly having a break.
What?
Get it?
He needed a break. he was apparently he left a few 9 pins this morning. Yeah,
Well,
Was it-
he's having a good game right now.
it's good. Oh, yeah,
48.
He is having a good game. That might be the highest game I see around
There's a 255 there
on that pair.
on the same pair.
Oh wow,
Must be a good pair.
it must be. There's some bet or something going on next to us, because when Keegan did not strike on that shot, there was
People that looked a little bit too happy.
okay. There is a bet. So if Keegan had gone 240, Jake, who's on this pair, Jake Neubauer, who we're watching, would have had to shave racing stripes onto his face.
Doesn't look like he has much of a beard to be able to do that anyway.
I know, right? Like I don't know. So anyway, or maybe his hair. I don't know what they do. They do some crazy. Did you ever
It's a
bet your
wild-
friends?
No.
I didn't even like I heard about this like last year. I think was the first time I heard about it, because at team trials there were some youth bowlers. One that lived in Utah. And they had this bet that the low man had to shave his head. So one of the youth bowlers had a shaved head at the next SYC, and we're like, what happened?
I would not do it. I just feel like, no, guys, I'm good.
I don't think we would fit in this friend group
No, I don't
of
think
these
so
days.
either. I'm not crazy enough. Well, I'm crazy, but not in that sense.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question. How do the youth get paid internationally? Did you get scholarships?
Yes. So scholarships are available whether you are international or not. I was fortunate enough to have an academic and an athletic scholarship. And the way it normally works from an athletic standpoint is you just have to speak to the bowling coach, right? If you're going to bowling college, or maybe if it's any other sporting college, the coaches have the availability to distribute the scholarship. So you would be able to speak to them and then get it all sorted.
Okay.
It is a little bit more complicated from a financial aid standpoint, but scholarship is available even if you're international.
Nice. There's a lot more. I've heard more youth bowlers internationally, always trying to figure out which college in the U.S. that they might want to go to. I don't know if it's necessarily new, because there's been a lot of international players over the years.
Yeah, that has been. I just think there's a bit more information out there now.
Yeah.
And again, I think with social media, the world is more aware of collegiate bowling.
Yeah.
And internationally, collegiate bowling is not a thing, right? We
Right.
have some countries that have some form of programs, but it's still different, right? So Sweden kind of have bowling schools, but it's different to collegiate bowling. So for a lot of people, they admire the collegiate side of things and the opportunity to win a national championship and bowl with other people who have that common goal.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, and I'm not sure how it is in England, but Jason Bomani was telling us on one stream that there were a couple of kids that asked him what's one of the most different things in Australia to the U.S. and university itself is very different,
Extremely.
right? Like it's not as common. Like here, it's almost like everyone goes to college. Now, I think it is reversing a little back where some people are studying trades again,
Yeah.
which I think is really crucial for our country to have that. But he said it was the complete opposite. Like, not everyone is destined for university. It's
I would say in England, I would say the same thing because it's also very difficult to get a spot at university.
Yeah.
There are some very, high requirements in terms of what you do at school to then progress for you to actually get accepted into university. And I didn't find, at least coming to the US, like there was less of that struggle of, am I going to be accepted?
right.
I felt like it didn't really matter. Like I was going to have a place, whereas in the UK, I had to apply and then I had to actually be given a place at the university.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the university and the Ivy League, of course. Those schools are very hard
I wasn't
to get
applying to Ivy
me
League
neither.
schools.
Trust me, I was not in that conversation. But I did want to know. So when you were looking, social media was a lot different. So how did you find your school?
So I was actually a international coach called Sid Allen.
Okay.
Contacted me after I had bowled an event for Team England internationally and said, hey, like, have you looked into going to university in the US? And I hadn't. So he actually put me in touch with Del Warren, the head coach of the Weber International Program. And that was how it all started. But actually, when I bowled a European Youth Championships in Denmark back in 2012. And I had a few American universities reach out to me. Because I had bowled well, they obviously were kind of watching the standings.
Yeah.
And they must have reached out to some of the top medalists. And that's a big thing with collegiate recruiting is looking at the events not only in the US, but looking internationally to see, okay, who's bowling well, what kind of bowlers are there. So I was contacted by those universities, but I had made the decision that the ones that contacted me, I knew I didn't want to go. Whereas when I was put in contact with Del, I was very interested in Florida and very interested in KEGEL. I was already very aware of the KEGEL training center growing up. So for me, that was such a huge, I could bowl at KEGEL training center and I could be in the sunshine. Like that was such a big draw for me. And then it was just really about applying and figuring out, is it something doable? And it was a very short time frame for me. I was having that conversation in the end of April, beginning of May of 2012, and then in the August of 2012 I moved. So it was such a quick turnaround, which for me was probably a good thing, because if I didn't have that quickness, I probably wouldn't have come. Like the more I thought about being 3,000 miles away from home, I think the more I would have talked myself out of it.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better, I live 2,000 miles away from home right now in where I live.
Wow.
So it's like in the U.S. we can do that too, where these kids are making the same decision, and it's hard.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. So I only go home. Did I go home last year? I did. I went home last year for my grandma's 90th birthday. My grandma just turned 91 this week. Isn't it? Yeah. It's incredible. So I'll go home. Actually, I'm gonna go April. The TOC is in Ohio, so I think my parents are gonna come up and have dinner or whatever. So it's tricky. Growing up is tricky, you guys.
Life is hard.
Parents, we appreciate you for all you've done.
Very much so.
All right, we're gonna take a short break because the bowlers are already here. They're not wasting no time. But I would like to find Pat Costello to maybe chat with her.
I can go find her.
Would you? That would be great.
I will.
And then we would love to have you back in probably tomorrow morning.
Sounds good.
So thank you, Verity,
Thank
for
you.
being here this weekend. And
Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.
we will be right back. All right, welcome back. I believe that we have Miss Pat Costello, Coach Pat, as everyone in this part know her as. Pat is a USBC Hall of Fame and PWBA Hall of Famer. She is heading this way for some fun commentary. Can't wait to hear what Pat thinks of all the young bowlers today. In front of us, we have some great bowlers, of course. Anthony Hornick up there. He's bowled a few SYCs. He's won a few titles in youth bowling. That is great player. Nice spare there. Anthony is an excellent spare shooter. We also have Gabrielle Martin. I love her blue dress. Coolwick has all kinds of cool items, including a dress for the young ladies, which is so much fun and exciting. Mr. Spiro Shank, he's grown up a lot since the first time we see him bowl at an SYC. He's from the Atlanta, Georgia area. He now bowls a lot of PBA junior events. Oh, next to us, they're trying to figure out the delay of the bowling. I love it. All right, there is never a dull moment here at Boardwalk Bowl today. Anyway, we're back watching some of the great bowlers bowl. Let's see Camden here. Nelson, it looks like. Nelson, yes, Camden. Wearing the beautiful SYC Florida jersey that Coolwick designed. We love that one. She's from Orlando, Florida. Her home bowling center is Boardwalk Bowl. Favorite pro bowler, Pat Costello, who I'm trying to get to come in the chat. Where is Coach Pat? Coach Pat, it is frame 5. I don't know where she is. She loves competing and bowling with her friends. She lives on a farm and has a horse, a donkey, and 5 dogs. Oh my goodness. I need to know more. Camden, we need to talk about this horse, donkey, and 5 dogs situation, because I have a dog that he feels like 5 dogs at times. He is one puppy, but he could be 5 in himself, I think. Spiro Shank here. He's from Noonan, Georgia. Pulls at Cherokee Lanes. Favorite pro bowler, Deandra S. Beatty. Good shot by Gabrielle. We'll get that one to go. We love trip pins. Coach Pat is coming. Coach Pat, you made it.
What's up?
Oh my goodness. Well, we've been trying to do this since game 1. You realize that?
Yeah, it was what, 9 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, really. Pat Costello, for anyone that doesn't know, is in the USPC Hall of Fame, PWBA Hall of Fame. She's had a few professional titles.
Yeah, it's
Just a few. But you have won several team events at the USPC Women's Championships.
Yes, 3.
3, which I still think is,
And
there's not very many women that have done that.
Yeah, I don't know. 3 teams and 2 doubles
Yeah,
titles.
incredible.
I like bowling with people.
Me too. You know, Pat, Coach Pat, I don't like to talk about myself on live stream, but I'm going to share something with you because you're a coach. And last year, my team at the Women's Championships came in 2nd.
Wow.
And I was devastated because, you know, Leanne Holstenberg sprained her ankle the night before. And we had to get a sub at the last minute, and we came in 2nd.
Shoot.
So my huge goal this year is for our team to win. Like, I am so motivated by bowling on a team.
Yeah, we need to keep her on her feet.
Yeah. Well, I took the injury this year. I broke my tailbone in January.
Oh, nice.
So I'm recovering from that. So I'm still, the goal is still that we're going to win. But anyway, so I definitely envy, not envy.
Well, I mean, back in the day, I was very fortunate to bowl with some great professionals.
That's how I feel.
Helen Duval, Loa Boxberger, Bev Ortner, who had the highest 3-game series forever until I broke it. Oh, sorry. Joanne Chapman from Iowa. She was just a doll. And we won our bowl with Donna Adamek on another one.
Yeah.
And the other one was Cindy Colburn, Carol. So I've been very, very fortunate with who I bowled with and the fact that they asked me.
I feel the same about my team. That's how I feel. Because if I could win a team title with Leanne Holstenberg,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So anyway, that's my goal. And when I was looking up some of your past achievements, I'm so like, I think team titles mean so much. I just do. So
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, I coached high school, Oviedo High School for 5 years. And
then of course UCF.
at UCF, which I had the great Stephanie Johnson,
Yes.
Sean Ryan, who's
Yes.
worked for your company. And
He's fun.
he's wonderful, young
Yeah.
man. I mean,
Is he as sassy to you as he is to everyone else?
absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm just checking.
Because I like the sassiness. If the sarcastic kids, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
He's fun.
You know, he's wonderful. When I try to have a picture taken with him, whatever I can, because he hates it. You know,
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
so,
He tells me I talk too much.
well, you're paid to. Sorry, Sean, but
Exactly.
But these kids out here, I'm very fortunate because I retired a few years back from this particular bowling company,
Yeah.
and I went on to do some things for myself. When I want to do them, I could do them, and I did. That's when I went to the OB. They came begging me, Coach, please help, and I went, okay, and it was just one of the best times. UCF was a great, 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 great time.
Oh,
High school is a whole different experience.
yeah.
And I'm seeing this out here today.
It's
Yeah. I'm loving the behavior that I've seen. Or is it just because I'm standing there and they know I'm standing there? But
no.
I think,
Norm has commented on it too. I
I
think
think
these
they're-
kids are incredible.
yeah. And I have my junior gold program here. I say it's mine because it's just gotten bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate that they asked me to take it over and do some things with it. So we have 61 kids on
That's
Monday
amazing.
night. So,
That's incredible.
well, you know, this bowling center is great in the fact that I get to select whatever patterns I want, and they put them out accordingly.
That's amazing.
Not all centers will do that
No.
for their programs. So these kids, when you go to junior gold, your parents are paying a fortune because not
They
only
are.
there for junior gold, they're there for the USBC Youth Championships. They're there for the Survivor Tournament. They're there for whatever's happening.
Well, the pregame to Junior Gold
Right.
is like 4 or 5 days. Practice sessions, registration, like that whole event.
So you're looking at 2 weeks minimum.
Easy. Yeah.
Air flight or gas. You got
Hey, gas
hotel,
isn't cheap anymore.
hotel, food. I told them it's a $4,000 more bill. Now you're not going to come here on Monday nights and mess around. You want to mess around, you bowl on Saturday mornings with the little kids, but you're not going to mess around here.
Well,
And-
and I think that you can see that here, right? This weekend doesn't. It's not quite a fortune. It is an investment to
Well,
come here for the weekend,
okay.
especially right this weekend. It's spring break.
Right, we have California,
Yeah.
Utah,
Yes.
Nevada,
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, Pennsylvania, New York, Wisconsin. I only know this because I checked them all in. But
You did. You were checking Superstar.
yeah, I was checking them in like left and right. So it's great observing what their abilities are, you know. And as a coach, you just want to say something, but I go next.
Yes.
And, getting their scores, and I feel bad for those that feel bad, you know.
Absolutely.
But they're still behaving well.
Well, the short pattern was tricky for the bowlers this morning, I think.
I thought so too.
Yeah. You know, I was reading Camden's bio. She said Pat Costello is her favorite pro bowler.
Camden,
Camden.
my little Camden girl.
She did. She said favorite pro bowler, Pat Costello.
Well,
Now, I read she lives on a farm. I want to learn more about this farm that she lives on.
I'll tell you what, Daddy's right over there.
Yeah.
And he's decided to take up bowling also.
Oh, cool.
So I'm glad. Cam, I kind of took under my wing a while, and then she went through some stuff. The mom and dad separating. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and you know, we all go through something growing up, and that was
Yeah.
the thing for her. So she kind of backed off a little bit, but then
She's back.
She's back. She won the state high school
Nice.
championship with Larry L. And the other, I think, all but one's bowling in this.
Okay.
She could be so good, but right now she's doing so well in her grades at school. now she's going.
That's important
See, now she's going from homeschool
to in
public
person.
school.
Okay.
It took her,
Wow.
I think, 2-3 months to.
That's a
come.
big change.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you could see it in her whole attitude and everything. It's
Yeah.
just, but now, I think she's back,
Good.
and now we can take her to another level. But Dad is in my lousy bowlers program.
I love when bowling centers do lousy bowler leagues and
Well,
programs.
I do it, and I don't care what their level is.
Yeah.
I'll take any level
Yeah.
because we do have people that still want to learn, even if they're intermediate, and I'll teach them. So he's been in it, and he's doing absolutely marvelous. She's waving at me.
I love it.
And so if I can bring it to the family and make that gets her going again too, gets her a little
Yeah.
fired up because Dad beat her a couple of games. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll fire you
Yeah.
up.
So again, you're watching the kids are playing on a medium pattern here, and the oil that we use here, I should say they use here, is ice.
Okay.
Now, when they bowl in junior gold, it's usually a dual tank fire and ice. So you can imagine ice is very slick.
Yeah, as we
Fires.
demonstrated on 26, because
Right.
he did not miss that far right, and that ball just kept going.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yes.
Exactly. So when this oil begins to break down, it's all of a sudden, and they think it's them. Nuh-uh. And then it goes. When it starts to go,
It's gone.
it goes.
Yeah.
And these kids aren't used to that either.
No. Well, 25 and 26 especially, we've been talking about it since the beginning because the first pair was a group of U18 boys that had a very high rev rate. So this pair is hooking more than the pairs beside them, I
Well,
believe.
Lane 25 is going to hook more anyway.
Oh, well, good to know.
See the pole there?
Yes.
The pole sink,
Yes.
lane goes. Now we need to probably have our lanes tested
Leveled.
for level,
Yeah.
because I don't think they've been done in 20 years since we opened.
Oh, geez.
So it settles on the left by the poles. So this lane's going to hook more than 26. Now, if you go on 29 and 30, the poles are on 30. So 30 is going to be tighter because it's going
This
to be
is
like
wisdom,
that.
you guys,
Yeah.
that you're listening to. She
Yeah.
knows her stuff.
I've been here for 20 years. Little things like that didn't happen when the first 10 years we were here. You didn't see those things. But,
Right.
Anyway, maybe she'll throw this one really good. What do you think? No.
Well, she got it right.
I thought maybe she'd throw it good for me.
I think she was trying to. She probably was trying. She's like, oh no, Coach Pat is watching.
Yeah, so it's.
She
trying to-
throws it good, though. She is a good little two-hander.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Was she always been two-handed?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And she is growing. She's going through growing pains
She's,
now also.
yeah, very tall and very slender.
Yeah, but she's grown about. I'm going 4 inches,
Look at-
maybe.
She's doing a field goal for you. She's having fun, though.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah, and that's different too. It must be for TV. She doesn't usually do that, but that's good.
Aw,
She's
just-
learning.
Yeah.
But,
It's
the-
hard.
Larry L. Tharps is another one. Since high school championships in November, she grew 3 inches by after Christmas. Terrible growing pains.
Yeah.
That's what she's going through right now. She's got hip problems. Well, I said, Dad, it's growing pains. You got to get a little bit more than aspirin for that. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these kids, as a coach, you got to kind of understand what's going on with them.
Well, and they're bowling a lot, right? They just are bowling.
And then their bowling balls don't fit.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that earlier with the boys because there was a U15 boys pair. And actually, I've known one of the bowlers on the pair, I kid you not, since he was 5 years old. And I called him his older brother because he's grown so much that I thought it was his older brother. And Norm and I were talking about the fit checks, right?
Right.
And it's impossible to stay ahead of it sometimes, right?
Yeah, it
When
is.
especially the boys. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and these girls are really growing also.
Yeah.
I have one little young lady, she can't get her fingers in her grips. I go,
When was the last time you had it checked, right?
if you could get your fingers in the grip, the ball may not be as short as we think it is. Because right now you can't get your fingers in halfway.
Yeah.
That was 3 weeks ago. Just had one done today for her more aggressive ball
Yeah.
that she's going to need for today and tomorrow. It's like, hello.
Yeah. But it's hard. And I said to Norm earlier, as Spiros finishes up with a 213 game, pretty solid there. That was a nice game. But
Yeah.
these kids bowl every weekend, some of them, many of them, right? Whether it's high school, whether it's their local tournament series, whether it's a big event like an SYC, whether it's you name it, right? And sometimes you have to miss a tournament because you're going through a fit change, right?
We're going through a body change.
Exactly. Like, do you recommend that for bowlers at times?
I have a young lady right now who's having issues with her knee, and she's went to the orthopedic guy and physical therapy, and they need 4 weeks. And well, she's got a tournament KEGEL and she's got the Pepsi. I said, I'm just telling you, you have junior gold in July. You want to bowl?
Right. Sit out 4 weeks now to bowl later,
Yeah.
right?
And then you'll have a great summer. If you
Yes.
don't sit it out now. But you see, that's the athletic coach in me. 'Cause I coached other things besides bowling. I did basketball and volleyball when I was teaching in high school and middle school. But I wondered when my physical education background would come in, when anatomy and physiology, like, really?
Yeah.
The kinesiology. Oh, okay, fine. Well, I see where it is now. But Kara Bazell, another one with the finger. She stopped for, probably 6 to 8 weeks. She hasn't bowled much,
right.
but she's here doing it.
Yeah.
And the finger is better. Of course, she says it's fine no matter what. But you could tell by her body language or what she does with her hand whether it's okay or not. And it seems to be.
Good. Yeah.
So, I mean, the guys are just so strong. Sometimes they're too strong. And they need to back off a little bit.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the two-hand laid.
That was a good shot.
Like
Little smile. Little smile.
like she knew what she was doing.
I love the young lady on 25 too.
Yeah.
Her game is good. Look at that. Just, fundamentally sound, down and in.
Yeah. If she had a little more swing and didn't push the ball in the wrong direction, her hand wouldn't be coming around the side and on the top so much. And then watch her bowl.
Yeah.
She gets her hand here. Ooh, Blair.
Yeah, right? Sometimes it's, and I think that's what the youth bowlers don't realize is how close they are, right? Like sometimes you're so close.
Yeah, they are.
And it'll just click one day. Or they'll find the right coach to work with. And
see how the ball kind of goes left off her hand?
Yeah.
She's coming around it. But yeah, she's my favorite word this friend of mine uses all the time. Well, she has potential. I went, knock it off. Hate that word. But, these kids are amazing. 216.
it's amazing, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. And they just continue to raise the bar for the whole industry. I think the kids are just changing the sport, really.
Yeah, I was sad. I was talking to somebody from California, and we had such a great youth program back when I was a youngin', and now they don't have hardly anything.
Sad. I know.
It's just because if you think about all the professional bowlers from California, if I just take the women, forget the guys, there's hundreds of them, but if I just take the women professionals out of California, it is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And now where are they going to come from?
Well, the pandemic didn't help that.
No.
Because
Nope.
California got hit the worst and lost the most bowling centers.
Yeah.
That was just tragic.
My very good friend, John Turney, he finally had to give it up.
Yeah.
Albany Bowl had just been, I bowled there when I was itty bitty. It'd been there for a long time. Very well. The customers were great. And of course, he's a great guy, so that helps. But that was sad. That was Helen Duvall's place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, it's just like, can we not do something more out west?
Tell me about it. I moved out west, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like what is this, right? Because I grew up in the Midwest where everyone bowls, right? And as a kid, that's just another sport you add to what you do.
Yeah.
And it's very common for high school bowling. It's very common for some tournaments and stuff. And then in Utah specifically, they're just now getting a junior competitive tour for the kids because
Oh.
there's enough.
Kids
You've-
finally.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's great. You got to start somewhere.
I know. The West Coast is just a little behind. All right, Malia Miscavige is stepping up on this pair. Malia it was announced, she is the USBC Alberta E-Crow Star of Tomorrow.
I bowled with her mommy, Jackie. I saw her today.
She's here. She comes.
Yeah. I said, oh. When she checked in, I said, hey, tell your mother you met Pat Costello. See what she says. Well, then she came in and whatever. But this lady bowls nicely,
Right?
built like her mama.
Does she bowl like her mom?
I think the kids nowadays, they all bowl better. Yeah, she really bowls nice.
Yeah, because like you could see some like an Alyssa Ballard. You could see some
Right.
Carolyn and Alyssa a little bit.
Absolutely.
A little bit. I don't see
Absolutely.
Dell like Alyssa though. I'm just kidding.
can't-
Just kidding,
I mean,
Dell.
I think it goes by who's coaching you, number one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everybody says that Larry L bowls like me. I went, nah, I wish I could have bowled like that.
I saw
But-
Steph and Lariel when I walked in. She
Steph
was
and Larry L, yes.
practicing just the girls. They were down there. They had a pair when we came in to set up. And I hadn't seen her bowl in probably not a year, but at least 6 months. And I
Right.
go,
Yep.
that's Steph.
Yes. Yeah. I just have to get her down more, and we'll have it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I told her, I said, I'm tall and I can bend. What is your problem?
Amen.
And I'm older than you,
Yeah.
just by a couple of years.
We also have Alea Kerrigan,
Okay.
Eliana Okino. I cannot read this young lady's shirt. Does that say? I need her to turn again. Let's see.
Turn in.
Peyton, spelled very uniquely. PaigHton.
Wow.
I love it. It's a very pretty name, Peyton. We also have Kendall Craig on this pair, and then one more bowler that may be from Puerto Rico.
Oh, this nice little lady. Yeah.
Yes, I think she is. When she gets up, I'll see what her name is. Unfortunately, with all of the fun that we've been having, I'm going to say fun, the sheets with the names, we've never had the opportunity to print them because everyone's a little busy today.
Oh, yes, we are.
So maybe tomorrow we'll have the sheets with names on it. But
Oh, well, thank
Miss
God they have-
Maya, yeah,
if they have their shirts, we're good. We can
we can
do that.
play it off. Yeah, so Malia also, I'm
Oh,
bragging
wow,
about
there.
Malia.
She can throw it.
She totally can throw it.
Yeah. Must be a Jerry Edwards.
Oh, maybe.
What do you think?
I could see that.
I can see
What a
that.
great coach, too.
Great, great lady.
Yeah.
Jerry Edwards, Ray Edwards were in. They were students in the professional bowling camps in late 70s in Issaquah, Washington. Then the next 2 years after that, they both were working in the camp.
I love that.
Ray and his bowling ball mind. He was a bowling ball. I haven't heard or seen much from him, but
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Maya is from Illinois. I said she's from Puerto Rico, but
oh wow,
she's from Illinois.
Somebody
She
just
was
tell you that?
wearing, maybe she bowled on the team. She has a logo that I thought was the team event that they did down in Puerto Rico, but I could be completely wrong.
She throws it good though.
She
Very
does
well.
throw it very well.
Yeah, very well.
I think Kendall throws it well, too.
Yes, she is her mommy.
I love it. Yeah, her mom was a great bowler, too.
Yeah.
Another one.
Back there coaching. Has a phone in her ear, giving her the coaching. but
Another great college bowler. Man.
yes. And what's sad about when there were some really great girls on UCF when the tour stopped, then they had nowhere to go.
Oh, it's the worst. We were
And-
talking about that the other
Right,
day.
and they have and they don't. I don't know if they bowl anymore at all. It's so sad.
I cannot say this when Verity is standing close to me, but I think she's a little. She might be a few enough years younger, but and I might get. I don't even know if I can say this because they might like some of the girls I know might come after me.
Oh, there
But
you go.
but here's the thing. I come to these SYCs. I watch these amazing young ladies, and I
Yeah.
know the amazing young ladies like Alea's older sister Juju, who's at college right now and
Yes,
has
she
had
is.
an incredible freshman year. And I know their talent, and I think that my generation of bowlers on the PWBA tour is going to get just pushed out very quickly because we're the generation that there was no tour.
Right.
So we're
Yeah,
the
you were.
generation that was behind all along. And if you didn't stay in it
Right.
as hard as it was so difficult to stay in it during those years when there was no tour. And these girls are just incredible and know so much more.
They also have the college opportunities.
Yes,
There's so many more schools now
there are.
for these girls, and they can choose, and they don't have to go to the Jacksonville State.
No, they can. Yeah,
They can go somewhere. Milligan, I think that's where Gianna is going. She's bowling down here to the left.
yeah.
They
Pikeville still. Allison Taylor's going to U Pike.
Yeah,
There's so many
they
opportunities.
need girls that are talented to up their program.
Right.
Don't keep throwing them all to the. I know everybody wants to win, but lead your team to victory by recruiting more to yours
Yeah.
if your school is warranted educationally wise.
Yeah, well, and I think it all depends on what you want to do. Like Eliana Okino here, she did commit to Jack State. Malia's going to Jack State, and I think that was the right choice for them, right? Like where they're at in their level of bowling, and then what they want to do career-wise, and what age they are as well, because they're in a rebuilding kind of year at Jack State.
They will be next year for sure.
Exactly. So then when you look at that and then you think of, because I think it's so important for kids to think, okay, what do I want to do for a career? Even if it is to be a PWBA professional or PBA professional, what's your backup plan?
You have to have another one. You have to have another one.
Right. Because it's just so crucial. And I think a lot of people, they just have to figure that out. So I haven't heard where Kendall's going to college. She might be younger. I don't know what year she is. I haven't heard. She's going somewhere. Somewhere great, I'm sure.
Kendall.
Kendall. What year are you? She's a junior.
You're still a baby.
She's a junior. She's got time.
Yeah.
College coaches. Kendall's a junior.
Yeah, in case you all want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy watching the ladies and how many we have here. That just makes my heart just go crazy that there's this many girls.
Alea is another one that quit and came back. She quit bowling. She got really frustrated with it. And then she decided, oh, I do love it.
Yeah,
And came back.
You know, if you stop and you miss it, then you know it's where you need to go.
Yeah.
Come on, ladies, show me something here.
This is a tricky pair. This is just a tricky pair. Well, at least from sitting here, I think it's a tricky pair. See Kara to the left of us.
Yeah.
And Amanda Lang. I am a huge Amanda Lang fan, just so you know.
Good. I love my girl Amanda Lang.
I remember the first SYC she bowled in. It was like a coastal classic, and her dad was so nice and
Wonderful family.
oh, they are such a great family. And she's another one, like Eliana here actually too. They have worked so hard to improve their games, and it's just fun to watch.
Amanda's a softball player. She plays softball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a good little player because, excuse me, I told her she bowls a junior gold on Monday night. Well, she has practices. Practice doesn't get done in time, so I said, look, you need to tell your softball coach
That you need to be at bowling too.
that you are going to be going to college
Oh yeah.
on a bowling scholarship, and what we do on Monday night is going to help you further that. So See if you can throw that one out at her.
I love it.
So she's been coming, except last week she had a game. I said, no, you're okay. You're okay. But if you really get into these kids, you'd be surprised what other things they do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Leah's a softball player, too, actually. I don't know if you can tell by how athletic a build she is. She's-
Yeah. I can tell right off.
That's the other thing that's incredible about these kids, and it's something Verity and I were talking about, how in shape these kids are and how fit bowling preparation has become over the years.
Well, that's what coaches have to understand is that these kids have to be in shape.
Yeah.
And they don't. They just think they come out here and throw bowling balls. That's all they need. But if you ever go to a high school championship, at least here in Florida, they stand up for a whole day.
Absolutely.
They cheer, they yell, they scream. Oh, then they have to bowl too. And so if you're not in shape physically, you won't be in shape mentally. And when you get into the late afternoon Baker games, you're gone.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we won a lot of matches late in the day because they weren't as fit as my kids at Oviedo. Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 6:30, they're in the gyms, doing their routines, doing what they need to do. Then they go to class and we practice on Tuesday, Thursday, and then we have matches Monday, Wednesday. I don't make them work out those days, and they do it. And
Yeah.
I had a wonderful coach that would go and babysit them because I'm not going at 6:30. You kidding me? I don't live in Oviedo, so he just happened to live right around the corner from school, and so he babysat them, and it was perfect.
I love it.
And I think to this day, they all do it. Good shot, baby. Good shot.
That was she is such a hard worker. Is Eliana here? Have you met Eliana yet?
Not
Okay.
personally, but keeping score and going around saying hi to them all. You know,
They're all so kind. But
I met him when I checked him in.
yeah, love it.
Yeah, so it's cool.
Eliana likes to bake too. So and a lot of these girls are like secret bakers. Like when we ask them
yeah.
what they want to or what they do in their free time,
Yes.
I'm like, I'm awful at cooking and baking, both.
I'm not the Chef Boyardee, but I can do it if I have to. I'd rather not.
That's how I feel. I can crock pot.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I make a mean chili.
There you go. You have to when it's cold somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, we eat a lot of chili in Utah.
And it's so hot here right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is hot. Is this like weird?
It's a little bit hotter than normal, but
Okay.
it's fine with me. I'd rather be here than in the snow.
Yeah. Listen, after my year, I agree. That's how I fell. I fell on ice, broke my tailbone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, I digress. Kids, stay in shape. That's my advice.
That's it. They have
Yeah.
they have to be in shape to even do this.
Oh,
Got 10 games today, and then you have this lane breakdown. You have to wait 10 minutes. Of course, that was a polite word. 10 minutes. And then they have to get right back up and bowl after 10 minutes. You can't if you're not in shape. You can't do it well.
No, you can't. And if you have aspirations to bowl on tour with the way the tour is set up now, you better be in shape.
Yeah, you have to. And if your legs aren't
Yeah.
there, forget it. When your legs go, you're retiring soon.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Is Peyton here? Let's see what. I like her little game. She's a little scrappy over there, Peyton.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of high scores going on, though.
No.
I think we're hitting transition for the young ladies.
Oh yeah, big time right now.
Nice shot by Kendall.
The one thing I noticed, women's tour, men's tour too, and all these kids are all wrapped up in KT tape. They got tape here, they got
No
tape there.
kidding.
They got fingers all taped up, their thumbs are taped up, their legs are taped. I went, what the heck? I can't remember if we did use tape on our thumb holes.
You guys too. Not that I'm putting my generation in this, and I'm calling myself out. You guys were tougher than us. You just were.
That generation is tougher than this generation.
You just are. I mean, and someone might get mad. Here I am. I'm making everyone mad when we're talking, Pat.
Well, sometimes the truth hurts, Blair.
But
I mean, you don't have to be a rocket science to see it.
I listen. I told Verity and I were having this very self-reflective conversation earlier, where Verity has focused a lot on fitness this year. That's been her goal at the beginning of the year to get ready for tour. And we both were commenting on everyone tells you that don't give up, like create your fitness habits early, like you're doing for these young people, right? They tell you to stay in shape, eat right, like all these things. And then they say like, it's harder when you get older. That's what another thing a lot of people tell you, right? And you hear all these things, and sometimes Blair, things go in one ear and out the other, right? Like I called myself out. So I encourage these kids, like you have a Coach Pat here teaching you these great habits Tuesday and Thursday to the gym, doing something else Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yep.
Keep those habits. You're getting up early. Like now, I could blame my puppy, but there's time in the morning before you go to work when you have a full-time job after you're done bowling in college,
Right.
or if you're going out on tour. But you have to keep the habits going, because as soon as you slip, it's easy, right? It's easy to be just done.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, listen,
I
kids.
took that from my mama.
Right?
My mom lived to be 98 and
Oh, I love that.
healthy 98. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a good learning thing. My dad played football in college, so that was another. He was pretty good at it, staying in shape. Then my brother, on the other hand, forget that part.
Yeah.
But we all can't be perfect.
That's true.
But it's just, when I look at I look back to our tour days, and I look at the tour nowadays. Big difference in the bowlers and the personalities that you see as they bowl,
right?
And the camaraderie we all had. Yeah, we didn't have a lot of money, but back for us it was decent money.
Yeah.
But back compared money wise, it doesn't even match. But we did funny things. We had golf tournaments, and we had karaoke with Cheryl Daniels.
Well, I think these kids, we should make you do a seminar the next time we come to Florida. Because here's something, it's so funny, because Gigi Mason, for anyone that, Jasmine Mason, she was our pro in Rhode Island, right?
Okay.
Young lady.
Yeah.
And Leanne and Nikki G. And Elaine.
Oh my God.
That
had to be funny.
Oh my gosh. So we were at dinner with Leanne, Nikki, Elaine, and Gigi. And Leanne, Elaine, and Nikki were telling Gigi about the old tour.
There you go.
And how many games they bowled a week.
There you go.
And it was, there's no difference.
Well, I mean, I look at the formats and I go, how can they be tired after that? You can't be tired after that.
Oh.
We bowled match play every tournament. It was so real. But I know things change.
They do, and it is a different tour, right? But
it's their livelihood, most of them. And if it is, they're not doing it correctly. They need to have another, because they aren't bowling every single week of the year.
They were talking about that. Verity was talking about, because one of the parents asked, how do you make a living if you're only bowling 3 months? And so she shared a lot of women choose to be coaches, because that one fits pretty perfectly with their season, actually. And then the other thing that Verity chooses to do is go down the coaching route, right? She's doing lessons virtually and in person, and she is very humble when she says that she still understands she has a lot to learn, but she's teaching as she learns.
Nobody knows everything. I learn new things every single day.
Yeah.
Just by watching these kids here. I said, maybe I try this with so-and-so, or I'm watching whatever they're doing and how they're bowling. Sean Ryan, he's the guy that I have to go to for bowling balls.
Oh, yeah, he's a good one. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sad that he's not doing it anymore, because the guys aren't playing very well up there. I said, we're the Storm guys and the Roto Grip guys.
I know.
So I'm sorry about that, but He's happy here. But,
Yeah.
it's just you don't know everything. I don't care who you are.
Well, I would commend you because this is something that I think most coaches out there can relate to. Two-handed bowling, right?
Yeah.
Two-handed bowling wasn't a huge thing when you were bowling a lot.
Do you know how good I'd have been at that?
Have you tried it?
Patty Petite. No, I'm too old now. But Patty Petite, who I've been this size all my life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, could I done that, Blair? Come on.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't. I think you would have.
If I was like 20 years younger, I'd probably try it. No, I don't. I'm not crazy. I want to be able to walk tomorrow.
I asked Norm this question, and I think you just answered it. But if you were starting again today, right, young
Oh, yeah,
Pat,
yeah.
you would be two-handed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I hooked it pretty good one-handed.
You did.
And
yeah.
But I would love to have a little more.
So where do you learn? Because I hear a lot of youth bowlers and their family members come to SYCs, and also coaches say, like, how can I learn more about teaching two-handed? How have you learned how to coach that?
I've learned by watching the best in the world.
Yeah.
The guy who started it all.
Yeah.
Jason Belmonte. I watched Kyle the other day just smoke all those boys with that new 78. But
that one's cool.
I love it. I watch the video and see how they do it. Now, no two people are going to bowl alike. I don't care who you are. But you want to take attributes from this person, like maybe Jason, and their body types are similar, okay? How's their timing? Their timing, one's going to think one way, somebody's going to think another way. So you have to try to put that together. The swing, everybody's is some are longer, some don't bend their elbow. You know, some are up higher, some are down lower.
Which is newer because when they first were teaching two-handed
all
bowling, that you would look for the cube. Like that's what I always learned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Right. Which is so yeah, it's that's evolving even.
So actually Donna Connors in Houston, bless her heart.
We love Donna.
She is so good at it. That's why I'm so glad we're everybody in the world are doing this great clinic in Ormond Beach, Florida on April 20th and 21st. KB Ormond Pro Shop. We've got Liz Johnson, myself, Carol Norman, Donna Connors. You have 4 Hall of Famers, Hall of Famers.
I want to come.
And yes, and it's not all about the physical game.
Right.
We do a lot of mental stuff. Because if you don't have a mental game, I don't care how good your physical game is. So we do a lot of that. Carol and Donna are so great with ball reactions and equipment.
I just love them.
Carol is one of the best ball drillers in the world. I'm sorry, guys, but she is. I had a lesson the other day with someone, got his PAP, took a picture of him throwing it, right? Took a video of that, took a picture of his track, took a picture of his side, back view. And I said, we're going to do the new idol. We want to drill up a new idol.
Yeah.
Okay, so in a nanosecond, and I mean a nanosecond, I got all his ball specs and everything back for how he should be drilled. Now, come on. He went, you got them already? I said, yes, sir, I got them already. So, I mean, they're great. It's going to be a wonderful, it's a 2-day. You can come one day or you can come both days. Right now, everybody that's signed up is coming both days.
Where can you sign up?
KB Ormond Pro Shop. I'd have to look up my number.
Okay.
You know what? I should have brought a flyer. I mean, what's the matter with me?
Yeah.
Anyway.
What are you doing? It's all right. We'll get you the info.
Yeah, KB Ormond Pro Shop in Ormond Beach, Florida.
So contact them, KB
Yes.
Ormond. Okay, perfect.
They're in charge, and it's just going to be
That's
the
fantastic.
best 2 days, and then you'll be by the beach, you know the beach.
Like I said, sign me up.
Daytona Beach is awesome.
Can I come?
Yes, you can.
Thanks, Coach Pat.
We want everybody to come.
Oh,
We can't have too many.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, mental game. These kids, I've only seen 2 kids kind of lose it and make a little noise. And both times I was standing there, I'm going, come on. I said, you scared me, you know.
Yeah.
Cool off. You'll be all right. And then my other one was one of my kids from Monday night. Kind of tapped the ball return. I said, I heard that. If I hear it, it's too loud. Yeah. But the mental game, it's
So
not
important.
like when I bowled. The mental game when I bowled was keeping yourself under control. Now there's all these different aspects of it, like knowing those round things and what they'll do for you, and what they do for you may not be what it does for someone else.
Absolutely.
So, and I feel bad, and I hate saying this, but coaches around the world, teach the girls, will you? They don't teach them.
I know.
The
I
guys
s-
know. Now the guys maybe because they communicate more with each other about those things.
Yeah.
The girls don't.
It is a missing piece. Well, and I think there's a few things, right? Exactly how you described how you learned about two-handed bowling and kind of, watching the best and really not being afraid to kind of dive into it.
Yeah.
We just had a conversation with Michelle Mullen,
Yeah.
and she said the same thing about how she learned how to coach two-handed bowling. And I love that you both are not afraid of it, because some coaches are like, oh, I cannot coach a two-handed bowler. I don't know how to do it.
We had a
Dive
bowl,
in.
we had a bowling program here locally that would not let the kids bowl two-handed on Saturdays.
Stop it. Oh, don't tell me that. I can't hear it. Let me turn off my headset.
It's gone.
I don't want to hear it.
They don't do it
Oh
anymore.
my goodness.
They don't
But-
do it anymore.
But the other thing that I think is really important is the ball drilling is not taught to females either. Which you mentioned, Carol Norman,
yeah,
Alita Sill does.
Lisa Bishop,
Yes, and
but they're up in Michigan.
I want these girls, like, if I could get on a soapbox, this is my soapbox. Learn how to drill.
Well, if you're not going to be an elite athlete,
True. That's true, because it can be too much information.
that's what I'm trying to tell my kids, the
Yeah.
guys and the gals. Where you want to go, what do you want to do with the sport?
Yeah.
If you want to be an elite athlete, then you only learn so much and what's important to
Yes,
you,
I agree with that.
and you don't learn the pro shop business.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
if you're going to be in the pro shop business, then yes, learn it all.
Yeah.
Had a lot of people, games went the other way because they were just their minds were just whacked with all the stuff they know about the pro shop.
It can be overwhelming. I'm trying to learn it right now. I never really wanted to, because I'm not good at.
Math?
Thank you. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not good at math. When I was a
Get it.
kid, it was not my specialty. I liked English and communications and all that stuff. So I
Well,
went in.
that's why you're doing what you're doing.
Exactly. So I went into Hank Boomershine's office this year, and I sat there and I said, Hank, I'm terrible at math, but I want to learn how to drill a bowling ball. And he goes, okay, we can do it.
And he goes, oh, that's easy. I'll teach you.
That's
and you're
right.
going, I don't do math.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm like, you have to teach me. Like, you can't.
Atta girl.
You can't overcomplicate it for me. And so I'm going through some of his seminars, which he's a fantastic
he is.
coach.
It's called Keep It Simple for us stupid people.
That's where I'm at.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
I believe in KISS.
That's
Because
true.
you're going to learn more. You're going to learn it quicker. It's just,
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing here with these kids.
Anyway, we have Jim Brandolino in the chat. Hello. Have you heard the name Gianna Brandolino?
Yes, I have.
Pretty good bowler.
Yeah, pretty doggone good bowler.
Gianna is not here this weekend.
No, and I'm very disappointed.
I know, me too. I was hoping that they would sneak her in. Sometime, both her parents have teaching jobs, I believe. At least they have some teaching, right? So they can't travel as much as some of the other families, and so I think the Jordans also, Landon and Griffin Jordan, they have the same commitments. But
Unless it's spring break.
Gianna has 11 SYC titles. The record is 12.
She should have been here to have one more.
She'll beat it this year.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So anyway, we're missing you.
Very, very, very great bowler at a young age.
Yeah.
She, what, 17?
She is is she 17? She might be.
I don't
Jim,
know.
is she 17 yet? I know she's a junior,
Yeah, okay.
so she's got another
She's
year.
right there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I just enjoy watching the girls, and it's I've watched boys bowl forever. Okay, now we have some girls that can play.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, right in front of us, so we have Malia, Jack State.
Right?
Eliana has committed to Jack State. Karina Capron over there, she's bowling in college next year. Believe Nebraska. Did she do Nebraska? Oh man.
Now you gotta look.
I know. I cannot. All of these girls, there are so many right now that are just phenomenal girls.
And isn't that wonderful?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I just love that.
College
There's-
bowling's only going to get bigger because of it.
Nebraska. Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was right. And then, well, Abigail Starkey is standing here. I'm not sure if she's bowling on this pair or just standing here.
Yeah, you'd have-
She's committed to Nebraska as well.
well, now she's won a few of these events.
She has, yes. Anaya Hall, who just bowled, she's
Uh-huh.
another one that's going to be committing to college somewhere soon. I saw someone shout out Emma Yoder. She must be nearby. She also is committed to Jack State. So, like, college bowling, you can just watch it at the SYC.
Yeah,
Just come out for a weekend and you can see the future of college bowling.
yeah, they're all busy this weekend. They can't be here.
Apparently.
They're all bowling. They're bowling in,
Look, Abby is bowling. She's not just hanging out. Okay.
hanging out on her pair.
Yeah.
Well, we at UCF we had the women's team.
Which,
We-
by the way, was phenomenal during your years.
Thank you. We
It
had
was
a T-shirt
incredible.
that said, "Remember when you bowled like a girl used to be an insult?" We all have T-shirts that say that. I still
love
have
that.
mine.
Girl power.
It is.
Let's go.
Well, I remember coaching years ago, guys. I said, "Will you quit bowling like a girl?" Now, I say, "Would you better start bowling like one because you're pitiful."
These girls
Now-
can bowl.
Now I go. Now you're bowling like an old man, so you want to try bowling like you should bowl,
Yeah.
But you can't use that anymore.
No.
That's why
No.
Kara has bowl like a girl on everything.
Aw.
That's where it all came from.
I love that.
She saw the saying, or her mom
Now-
took it, man, and rode with it.
UCF doesn't have a team anymore?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it at that. Never mind.
Yeah, they need a coach.
Hey,
They don't have a coach.
I went to, it is tricky when you're at these bigger schools. I went to Ohio State. Same, you have to self-fund. I don't know if you had the conversations with UCF that some of the people did at Ohio State, and they laugh at you when you ask them if you can be a.
I tried for 3 years. That's when Stephanie and the girls.
Yeah.
Stephanie was number one in collegiate bowling.
Yeah.
The team was ranked number one. We went to the national championship and lost by 1 pin.
Ugh.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, we tried for 3 years.
And they have to
and-
offset a sport, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had 2 really cool people within the athletic department right there with us. We had the student council said, yes, we need to add women's bowling. And when that happens, it usually is a deal, right? So they have all that going on. The summer, the athletic director leaves and says, well, I don't want to start this program. I'm leaving, and I'll let the new guy come in. I went, what are you doing to me here? Then,
Eliana Okino just bowled 225. I just wanted to get that in. So
Oh, that
she had a
girl.
really good end part.
and
Carry
we,
on.
and we had
215. I think that was Kendall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Kendall that
Oh.
shot the 215. Or
Yes.
Malia. It was one. Might have been Malia.
Yeah, she was throwing it very well.
I believe it was Kendall. So anyway, carry on.
So-
Yes.
To make a long story short, the women's athletic director, right? She was like second or whatever in command.
Yeah.
Passed away. We were done. I said, I ain't doing this again. No.
Yeah. It's very hard. I love my Ohio State education. I loved the 4 years I spent there. I love the friends I made.
Yeah.
I loved bowling. But at Ohio State, one of the greatest women's sports programs, besides hockey and women's basketball, is women's synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
It's fantastic there. And so there's all these other very equestrian is really great at Ohio State as well. So You just don't stand a chance. And they have like over, I don't know what the number is now, but 10 years ago, it was like 250 club sports. So you have that's all of the other,
Yeah.
like if you're not an NCAA sport, then you're a club sport, and
Right.
there is some funding, and we worked really hard to get funding through the club sports because you had to do like,
Yeah, do all kinds of things. Yes. I
oh
know.
yes, yeah. So but that
fun.
being said, and you know from coaching the kids, if you have the right team in place, the coach and the bowlers, it can be a fantastic experience.
We
It's-
had it.
Yeah,
We had the whole thing because I had great parents,
exactly.
and we had tournaments twice a month that we did fundraisers.
Which is key.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had to raise about $75,000 to $80,000. Now,
Yeah.
do you know what that would be now?
No, but
Because this
well,
was 2009 and before.
so that was you're very close to my years, and we were raising about that. A 9 was usually our goal. Like we needed $9,000 minimum to run the program, do the minimum tier 1s, tier 2s, all
But-
that stuff. I have no idea what it would
But
be
we're
today.
in Florida.
Yeah.
What's-
Oh yeah.
What's
right.
here? Nothing.
Yeah. So you're always traveling. Yeah. Did you drive everywhere?
Georgia.
Georgia.
We got a
okay.
bus with FSU.
Okay. Yeah.
We all drove to Tallahassee
Oh jeez.
and then went to Marietta.
Yeah.
But the kids were great. The kids were wonderful. We raffled. We had silent auctions. We had this bowling center. The bowlers in this bowling center are tremendous. How they help to this day. When you do a bowling ball raffle, you can make $400 or $500 in a night. You're dealing with 80
Yeah,
lanes of
we did
people
that too.
mostly.
Yeah.
You know, so and the parents would do the silent auctions and they would do the raffles so the kids would be bowling. You know,
And I would say to anyone listening, like, you know, we've talked about NCAA programs, which is an option for girls.
right?
NAIA programs are an option for everybody, but those club programs, if you're a self-motivated kid that wants to go to a big school and it's a club program, don't get scared, right? If it's the right fit, like all the fundraising stuff, I remember the tournaments, I remember the travel, but I remember the fundraising too because that's bonding, right? Like you're all in it. Those ball raffle nights, I remember my friend Allie
Well,
and I would
yeah.
go and we'd be walking through on.
You always
on-
have to have a girl.
Oh yeah.
Two guys cannot do it.
No, yeah,
They get a little
yes,
they get a little disgusted when they don't sell as many tickets. So I always signed up a guy and a gal together.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's true.
High school too. I did the same thing with high school.
Yeah, so I always, you know, I love all the programs and the opportunities, but don't forget about those club sports. They're still there.
Yeah, no.
But it has to be. You're right. It has to be the right people. We had the right people
Yeah,
for
we-
a few years.
Yep. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. What can I say?
Yeah, and now they do have they've added stuff. Like I think it was after I left. Sure. We're collecting score sheets now, Pat.
Very good.
This is good because we can. Kendall shot 190. Malia shot 215. I
See?
knew they both were the top. Couldn't remember which way it went.
1047, awesome. 1064, awesome.
Oh, they bowled great.
What is this? Look at this.
1098 for Eliana. This was a great little pair.
Now,
Look at
that's
them.
that's a pair to bowl on.
Yeah, they're pushing each other.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
1040 in your third. Nice going. That's what-
Abigail Starkey is figuring it out. She's had a rough go, I've heard. What did you say? 10?
1098. I'm loving the look at 200,
Yeah,
214, 240, 216, 220.
Eliana.
She
Yeah,
got it
that
going.
was good. That was a good block for her.
Ah, totally awesome.
Now, Katarina Hegler,
Uh-huh.
she just got a Gift for Life scholarship from the National USBC. She's going to UPike next year.
Oh, wow. I love Pikeville.
Yes.
Pikeville is so cool.
It is. It's a cool little city, too.
Ron Dameron was the coach years ago.
He was.
Was he the best or what?
He was amazing.
And
We bowled up against Pikeville a lot.
they used to come down in January every year, and I would spend a day with them, coaching the team,
Yeah.
mentoring him mentally.
Kayla Bandy was on that. Was
Yeah,
were
yeah,
those
yeah.
years? Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, I was in college the years you coached UCF because I remember your team, and it was just you killed us. Let me tell you, every time we faced you, but at least you were a little. You guys were a little nice to us
A little?
as you were murdering us. You were kind to the poor.
Stephanie didn't.
I didn't bowl against Stephanie. I'm after Stephanie.
Oh, that was after
Yeah,
Stephanie.
so it wasn't quite the Stephanie years, but you still were pretty incredible. So you had a great program.
I did it. I did the scores. I was
Thank you.
Like a good person.
Yeah.
I learned from you. Yeah, the kids love that. The parents love the way you do the score system.
Oh, Bowl Metrics is fantastic. We love Bowl Metrics. Abby double here. We got some people watching Abby in the chat.
Yeah,
Carissa here.
All right.
This is game 5, Pat.
Yes, it is, darling.
We have survived.
And it's only 6:30.
It's
You
true.
were hoping to get out by 7.
No,
It looks
no.
like we will.
I know, and we really want to thank the parents this weekend. I know there's a lot of first-time families here, and there was a lot of
We had a hard start this
adversity this morning. As
morning, to say the least.
yeah,
But this squad really's been okay.
it has.
It's really a normal thing that might happen.
Yeah.
We had one little blackout and we had a ball return.
Yeah, this afternoon was more normal, I have to say.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know. It's like yesterday when the whole 32 side went out for practice. All
I
the
w-
machines went off.
Yeah,
OUC, they had OUC out here like bam over there.
they blew a fuse. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what?
And then the electric company went out to the box and fixed what was going on of a fuse.
I would like the parents that
Ooh.
have recently like broken a mirror or had a black cat cross their path. I would like them to all fess up
Yeah, because they were here this morning.
because this is the weirdest. There's some bins like I told someone earlier. Now I'm young, Pat, but in my 28 years of bowling, there have been things at this tournament that I have never seen before. Have you?
I've seen it all. I live here.
I
You
don't
bowl
know.
You bowl in this bowling center, Blair. You see.
All right, that's
everything.
fair. Well, yeah. Anyway, but shout out to Boardwalk Bowl because they really have been a huge help and they were with us through it all this
Well,
morning.
I have to speak on their behalf because the new general manager's only been here, I think, a year and a little more,
Yeah.
maybe. And he took a mess. He took a mess.
Yeah,
The people that ran it before just
yeah,
wasn't a good situation.
yeah.
So he is trying his best.
Oh no, and
And to try to get a mechanic that knows what the heck they're doing.
it's hard. It's very hard.
We have one, I think, and
Yeah.
maybe 2 now.
Yeah,
And this bowling center takes more than 2 mechanics.
yeah. No,
So-
it's yeah.
And you can only fix so much with tape and wire, and that's what they've had to deal with. And they're really, really working hard to get these lanes in order. And I feel so bad for the guys. I love them.
Yeah.
I love our guys in the back because they really love what they do. And
Oh, yeah.
And they want it to be right. You
Yeah.
think they wanted to what happened this morning? No.
Absolutely not. And I think it was a fluke that all happened at once.
Well, how can you have 35 and 6, 37 and 8 both have underground ball returns at the same time?
yeah. I
I
never-
went, excuse me?
Yeah.
Is this Halloween? Or what is it?
It was everything was kind of like I said.
was
Every
weird.
parent that a black cat is crossed, you broke a mirror. What's the other old wives' tale? the-
Went under a ladder this
Oh,
morning.
ladders. Yes. If you went under a ladder, anything you did,
Yes,
please just come tell us.
Yeah.
We'll forgive you.
because then we'll understand what the heck was going on.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the point. Thanks for the parents for choosing to spend the weekend here, and if it was your first time, this afternoon and tomorrow morning,
Much better.
we're sure it will. run
Tomorrow's St.
smoother.
Patrick's Day, and you better all wear green. I'm just telling you.
Please,
I have my Lucy Green shirt to wear tomorrow.
we need all of the green that we possibly can have in this building to counteract
Yeah,
all,
socks.
all of the bad
yeah,
luck.
socks, underwear, everything you can possibly
Yeah.
think.
And if you need some green, we have some extra. We have some necklaces we'll throw on you. We have
There
some socks.
There
We
you
got
go.
you.
There you go.
Great
That is
shot by
nice.
Maya. That was a good one.
Yes,
Look
very
at that
nice.
12 bagger jersey. I like that one. It has a little Hello Kitty action on it in the corner.
Yeah, that's the
G's brand, Gerald.
Yeah,
I still
Gerald.
need to get Gerald in the booth. I'm gonna grab him tomorrow.
he's a 12 bag. I asked you earlier what that was, the 12 bagger.
Yeah, that's the cool. They call it the cool brand at
Oh,
Coolwick.
there you go.
Now, how good does Karina throw the ball?
I love it. Look at the strength at the release.
Another softball player.
There you go.
You digress.
I do believe that the girls, especially that compete in other sports other than bowling, because they're most team sports I'm talking,
Yeah.
will be much more successful
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, Morgan Klein is bowling. You know, Morgan Klein down on lane 30. She is going to Wichita State University,
Oh, nice.
which she's wanted to do since she was a little
Yeah.
kid. And Morgan bowled in the U12 division in the first ever SYC in Reno, Nevada.
There you go.
And now she is nearing the end of her
I
youth
know.
career.
Oh, isn't that something?
Oh,
Well,
it
so
is something.
this tournament, I mean, it's sad that every kid that wants to get in can't get in because the bowling centers could only allow could only have so many
If
bowlers.
anyone wants to build a 500 lane center, let us know.
Yeah.
Just, although I'm not sure after this morning.
But no, I think 80 lanes is enough.
Yeah, I think we're good. But no, you're right. every one of these sell out. It's amazing, with a waiting list, which is also amazing.
That's right. They look forward to it. Coach, we have SYC this weekend. I said, "Oh, where? Oh, we're going to Kentucky. Oh, we're going to Ohio. Oh, I said, oh, mackerel.
Oh, they travel too. Like you said earlier, the states come from all. Abigail's Illinois. Karina is Nebraska.
I mean, like, how could you not want to come to Florida anyway?
Well, true that.
They're all in there complaining of how hot it is, but I like it. It's
I'm
really
not.
okay.
I'm not complaining.
No,
It
'cause
snowed on Tuesday when we left. Literally, it was snowing. I was like, bye-bye.
It's been really nice here.
Yeah. Oh, it has been. I agree. And the humidity isn't bad yet.
No, that's what makes it really nice. No humidity, as we say. Yeah, take those. We like those Brooklyn.
We've had discussion about that today, Brooklands.
I try to tell them. I mean, you take it, you go, thank you, because they just ripped you off the frame before.
That's
So-
what Norm said. Yeah.
Just take it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Norm said,
You
'cause
owe me that.
I asked him what he thought of Brooklands because of all the controversy at the PBA the last event.
What are you going to do?
Well, that's what he said. You can't give it back.
I mean, like the guy intentionally did it. Although I did bowl in a tournament once. The Queens in Niagara Falls. I was bowling Vesma Grenfell. There's no way I could keep the ball on the right. I have no idea. I don't remember her. I don't know how she did it.
Yeah.
So I just lined
Played
up.
the Brooklyn.
Yeah, and I shot like 9-4. How can I remember this? But I shot 943, I think, for the 4 games. She about killed me
Yeah.
because we're both from Northern California. So
Yeah.
we're pretty good friends. I said, Vesna, I'm sorry, but there's no way I could keep the ball on the right, so I just had to do what I had to do. But
See,
that's what you
Coach
have to
Pat
do.
says it's okay.
Yes.
I'm not giving back Brooklyn.
Hey.
I'll take every Brooklyn I can get.
You have to do.
Like that. Come on.
If
I'm
the
pulling
pins
for her.
don't fall going this way, then you try something else.
Well, and it can be tricky at times when, especially in a field like this, right? It's like the girls are following the boys.
Right. That's
The-
hard for them.
Breakdown can be completely different.
Yeah.
Nice pickup by Anaya there. Jeremy Combs is pulling for an SYC Collegiate. Jeremy, SYC Alumni Tournament. I'm still pleading for it. I've been begging Leanne and Gary, let's do SYC Alumni.
Well,
Anyone that's ever bowled in SYC can come back.
how cool
and
would that be?
Thank you. And right now, so we've been previous years, it hasn't made sense, right? Because you know, it started in 2017. So 2018, 2019, okay, there's not enough bowlers.
No.
2024, there's plenty of bowlers.
Oh,
We'll fill
yeah.
it up. One a year. Same thing.
Right
Get your entries
when
in.
the ladies and the guys aren't bowling, pick a week.
Exactly.
Stephanie will be here.
We're trying. It would be fun.
Where would you have it? Midwest? Somewhere?
Yeah, I don't know. See, all these questions are where the conversation kind of dies.
No, it all depends on when you're having it.
Yeah.
So, where's the PBA bowling?
Right.
Where are the ladies bowling?
Yep.
And where
And
would that
between,
be?
right.
And then the rest of them that want to come will come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your majority would be there.
I agree.
Yeah, you can do this.
I think so too. I think we can make it happen.
All right, come on, girls.
Maya
She-
is
oh,
getting her game
I'm gonna
together.
tell you
again.
something. She could get down sooner. She'd be fine. You got to be down the step before the slide, not at the slide.
There you go.
The lowest point, you don't need to be low in step 1 and 2. It's the step before the slide. You have to be where you want to be, and then you just go right to the pins. She just does it all at the end. Watch.
Now I'm curious. Now I'm watching. Everyone's watching.
See?
Oh,
See where she goes down
yeah.
right there at the release point. Yeah.
I do see that.
I hate to tell you how good she'd be if she got down and used all that strength this girl's got. I just whistled in your ear.
It's okay. It was good. It was a good. I can't whistle, so I'm jealous.
Oh.
All right.
Get another one.
We'll take it. It's just
Done.
tricky at this point.
Uh-huh.
She can strike out for 173. Let's go. Which is a good game. Like this pair seems like it's not so good of a pair because and I don't mean bowlers. I mean the actual bowling lane.
Yeah, it's been
right.
very low scoring, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Footing.
That is not what Karina wanted to do.
That was not fair.
So she's gonna try to convert this 4-9 in the 10th frame, but that's what I mean. So 189, 179. Karina can go out now for 173 if she spares and strikes. We have another 170.
Now, see what happens when she tried to hit the popper?
That's why you line up Brooklyn like Coach Pat. I'm taking that advice. I'm doing it.
I just did what I had to do.
I love it.
Wasn't always. I apologized, but what does that get you? Nowhere. Oh, Bezel was so mad at me. I said, "I'm sorry, I can't."
Well, it's the same. I played tennis. It's the same thing. You have a let. So you hit the net. The ball goes over. No one can get that. It happens. You can't take it back. You can hold your racket up and say, "Yeah, I know that was a lucky shot. I'm sorry," and move on. But you don't look at your opponent. You hold your racket up. You look the other way, and you move on and take your point.
Ooh, yeah, she throws it nice.
Abby.
See how she waits on the ball? Where this young lady here, who's this?
Anaya.
Who's on 27? What's her name?
Anaya Hall. Yeah.
Anaya Hall. She starts turning the ball early instead of waiting for it. It's like reach and turn. Don't turn and reach.
Okay.
That's why they get around the ball so early because they want more. So if I want more, then I got to do it earlier. No, not with these little bombshells you throw.
Do you know who Abigail Starkey has started working with?
No.
Bill Spagner.
Good God. He's cool. Really.
Yeah. She started, now she had a great foundation, as you said. She worked with the Jordan family, and then she started working with Bill Spagner last year.
You have to be here.
Yeah.
You have to be under the ball. You can't be around the side of it.
Bill Spagner is another high school coach. He's a big advocate for high school ball, and he loves it. Yeah.
I see him on Facebook all the time. He and his wife, they're great people.
Absolutely. All right, Abby is going to throw our final shot on the live stream pair.
Come on, baby. 237.
Let's strike. Come on, Abby.
We're set. Everybody at home, we love you. Thanks for listening to all our stories.
I know, right? Oh, okay. All right. Well, we tried. Okay. Well, Pat, I want to thank you for being here this weekend. You've helped immensely. We could not have done this morning without you. We couldn't. And yesterday at check-in, you were rocking it. You were making everyone feel welcome, and
well, aren't you supposed to?
100%. I'm just saying, you're doing a good job.
Thank you, darling.
I mean, I expect nothing less from a Hall of Famer.
I want you to ask me back so I could do your job.
I would love to. You could travel with us. You, Coach Pat, on the road. Although you would have to go somewhere it would snow.
I don't mind if I don't live in it.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, everyone, we will be back for
Thanks,
the
everybody.
final round tomorrow, where we will find out
We're going to
who,
crown the champion.
who wins an SYC Florida trophy. They're
Yeah.
cool this time too.
And they're beautiful.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
y'all.
We'll
Thank you
see
very
you
much.
tomorrow.